This audiobook is a non-profit fan adaptation of the web novel The Primitive Ancient Snake. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelverse@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 601. In the blink of an eye, no one knows how many eras have passed. At the same time, regardless of what is happening in the chaotic universe, at this moment, in a quiet room in the Origin continent, the original Kingdom of God and the original Imperial City Palace, the chaotic time and space in all directions seem to be flowing with inexplicable rhythms of the avenue. The entire quiet room is enveloped by a huge barrier, and no energy can escape.
Boom, ..
At this moment, Furukawa, who was practicing in seclusion, woke up at this moment. He opened his eyes in vain, and a chaotic vortex was revealed in the depths of his pupils, like a black hole, swallowing endless source energy. As if he just glanced at it, the barrier that was originally sealed in the quiet room suddenly shattered at this moment, making a clicking sound like glass, and fell down one after another. With his body as the center and a radius of hundreds of millions of light years, the endless energy of the Origin Dragon veins surged toward every corner of his body like a flood. And his body was like a greedy sponge, absorbing every drop of Origin energy without wasting it. Vaguely, a dense universe emerged behind Furukawa, as if one universe after another was reincarnating, suppressing this chaotic time and space, and its power grew endlessly. The power of reincarnation in me has been greatly improved. Furukawa clenched his fists and felt the outrageous power in his body. Compared with him before seclusion, he didn't know how many times more powerful it was. It was simply improved by several levels. The power of 490,000 universes of reincarnation. Before the retreat, he only had the power of 180,000 cosmic reincarnations, but after the retreat, his power was increased to the power of 490,000 reincarnations. The increase in power is not just as simple as doubling. He found that there were 490,000 universes running in his body. If he activated the Origin energy in his body, he could easily suppress countless creatures and freeze time and space. He is much more powerful now than before. Of course, there is a price for making such rapid progress. Previously, in the lair of the Skyfire Beast King, he collected a large amount of trophies, and he consumed almost half of these resources. It can be imagined how many resources Furukawa's practice consumed this time. This is super wealth that is enough to bankrupt many high-level universe masters. But no matter what, it is all worth it. This has greatly improved Furukawa's strength. It won't be long before he can conquer Xiao, in order to ascend to the perfect state of the higher Lord of the Universe. If you are lucky, you might be able to hit the state of the title of Lord of the Universe. The power of 490,000 universe reincarnations is really too strong. Furukawa clenched his fists. He felt that as his strength continued to increase, the book of magical powers he created seemed to be strengthening simultaneously, and the power of each spell was increasing crazily. However, for 490,000 the power of cosmic reincarnation, the power alone can overwhelm ordinary high-level masters of the universe. Remember that the Skyfire Beast King had 900,000 cosmic reincarnation powers in his body. Even if it did not use its own innate magical powers, it only used the power of its body, can easily kill a superior universe lord. This is the terror of absolute power. It is simply unmatched. The heart of the universe expands. Furukawa sensed the heart of the universe deep in the sea of his consciousness. As his cultivation improved, the heart of the universe expanded several times more than before. It took on the shape of a crystal prism. Glittering, the deep interior is like a chaotic vortex rotating, swallowing the Origin energy all the time. At the same time, the connection between this cosmic heart and the chaotic universe has become closer. As long as he moves his mind, he can mobilize part of the chaotic universe. The original energy. You must know that if it were before, Furukawa was so far away from each other, it would be almost impossible to mobilize the original energy of the chaotic universe. After all, the distance is too long. With such a long distance, if you want to mobilize the original energy of the chaotic universe, how difficult it is to be around oneself. But it is different now. As the heart of the universe has further grown, the connection between the heart of the universe and the chaotic universe has become more secret, as if a void passage has been opened. With this trace of mystery with the connection, Furukawa can easily mobilize the original energy of the chaotic universe, thereby blessing this part of the original energy on himself, greatly improving his combat power. Well, the entire original kingdom of God seems to have become more powerful. Furukawa's heart moved. At this moment, he communicated with the dragon veins of the entire primitive divine kingdom, and countless small dragon veins in the primitive divine kingdom started to move, like countless streams gathering together. The streams converged into rivers, and the rivers gathered into the sea. Finally, fusion into one, turned into a super-giant dragon, almost condensed into substance, exuding golden light. The whole body is as if made of gold. And this origin dragon vein is vast and unparalleled, pouring into Furukawa's body like this. Endless the origin energy was greedily absorbed by the original ancient snake cells in Furukawa's body. Sure enough, during this period of time, the strength of the original kingdom of God has been greatly improved. Furukawa's thoughts moved, and endless information poured down from the depths of the void. The Chaos Bagua technique continued to operate, receiving endless messages from the outside world. During his period of seclusion, the territory of the original kingdom of God has also been further expanded, more than doubled. At the same time, because of the suppression of the Skyfire Beast King, the prestige of the original kingdom of God spread over hundreds of trillions of light years, and it vaguely became the overlord of this area. Because of this, countless life in the origin continent came after hearing the news and joined the original kingdom of God one after another, thereby becoming residents of the original kingdom of God. Therefore, the national power of the original kingdom of God has also been further improved, and the destiny of the entire country is simply 10 times stronger than before. More than 3 times, a 5-clawed golden dragon is flying over the primitive kingdom of God, with incredibly strong luck. And thanks to the merger of the dragon veins of many countries, this has also further strengthened the dragon veins of the entire primitive kingdom of God, almost reaching the pinnacle of high-level dragon veins. It is just one step away from being able to be promoted to the Supreme Dragon Vein, and the Supreme Dragon Vein is a dragon vein that only the country founded by the title Lord of the Universe can have. But now the original kingdom of God is almost ready to have the Supreme Dragon Vein. Dragon Vein, it can be imagined that the original energy of the original kingdom of God at this moment is definitely not comparable to other higher kingdoms. Such a superior, almost wholly land-like cultivation environment has naturally further attracted countless strong people. Of course, the fact that Furukawa's cultivation is so fast and smooth is actually closely related to the dragon veins of the original kingdom of God and the destiny of the entire country. The two can also be said to complement each other. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 602. Well, the Skyfire Beast King is still making noise. At this moment, Furukawa's heart moved. He sensed waves of angry roars coming from not far away. It was the voice of the Skyfire Beast King. "Let me out, Lord of the Kingdom of God. Let me out immediately. If you have the guts, let me go now. Otherwise, I will immediately dismantle this piece of shit primitive divine kingdom of yours. Damn the original king of the kingdom of God. I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you, you know?" The voice of the Skyfire Beast King came over. It was earth-shattering and contained incomparable anger. It made the whole palace buzz, and the void trembled. Whoosh! Thinking of this, Furukawa immediately stood up, and in a flash, he came immediately in front of Wuxia Mountain, which suppressed the Skyfire Beast King. I saw that Wuxia Mountain at this moment was many times more powerful than before. The whole body was golden, as if it was made of gold, and it was integrated. This Wuxia mountain is not ordinary. Mountains are formed by the power of faith of countless sentient beings. This is a mountain of faith that is between illusion and reality. As time goes by, countless believers throughout the primitive kingdom of God chant scriptures day and night, endlessly. The endless power of faith is instilled in Wuxia mountain. Especially the suppression of the Skyfire Beast King has allowed countless shallow believers to evolve into fanatic believers and even saints. The power of faith in them is growing at a geometric rate. The power of faith contributed by one saint is equivalent to the power of faith of millions of shallow believers. It can be imagined that the power and weight of Wuxia are increasing day by day. If the original Wuxia could not easily suppress the Skyfire Beast King, it still needs the original ancient snake talisman as the core, plus the divine whip to weaken the power of the Skyfire Beast King. But it is no longer needed. The Wuxia mountain itself, plus the weight of the original ancient snake talisman, can barely suppress the power of the Skyfire Beast King. The Skyfire Beast King has the power of 900,000 universe reincarnations. Therefore, the Skyfire Beast King has become more and more irritable in recent years. It knows that if it continues like this, its hope of escaping from the suppression of Wuxia will become increasingly slim. Furukawa blinked his eyes. He discovered that after being suppressed by the Skyfire Beast King for countless years, he actually lost the power to maintain his true body and turned into a human form at this moment. At this time, the person suppressed under Wuxia mountain was a red-haired Lolita. She is very cute, carved in pink and jade, with red hair on her head, which seems to be made of flames. Her originally fierce expression has become extremely cute, and she also has a few small tiger teeth. Furukawa, this bastard is finally here. Let me out immediately. When the red-haired Lolita saw Furukawa's appearance, she immediately shouted excitedly. At this moment, she finally knew Furukawa's real name and couldn't help shouting, asking Furukawa to release her. If I let you go, will you promise to surrender to me, never do evil again, and obey my orders in the future? Furukawa raised his eyebrows and looked at the red-haired Lolita. What? You are just a low-level life, and you actually let the Great Origin Beast clan obey the orders of a low-level life like you? This is just a joke. Stop dreaming. The red-haired Loli immediately became furious and started yelling. She is a great beast king, and she will definitely stand at the pinnacle of the Origin continent in the future. How could she surrender to this hateful low-level life, even if she dies? No. This is the dignity of being a beast king and cannot be insulted. In this case, how can I release you? You will be suppressed here for the rest of your life. No one can rescue you from this place. Furukawa looked at the red-haired Loli indifferently. What? Hearing this, the red-haired Loli immediately became frightened. Thinking of the dark days she had lived these past years, her body was suppressed by the Five Fingers Mountain, and she could hardly move. She can't even sleep peacefully. The most important thing is that if she makes the slightest movement, there will be a whip to serve, constantly weakening the power in her body. After countless epochs of torture, the power in her body has not been weakened. How many times more? Of course, no matter what, she is the Skyfire Beast King, and the weakening of her strength is only superficial. If she escapes from here, it will not take long for her to regain her peak strength. Okay, I agreed. I will surrender to you, and I will obey your orders in the future. You can take me out of here. The red-haired Loli rolled her eyes and agreed to Furukawa's conditions. But she was thinking viciously in her heart, haha, I will temporarily agree to your conditions now, and I will wait for her to get out of trouble. Without Wuxishin's suppression, wouldn't she be able to go wherever she wants? How could she obey the orders of a despicable lowlife like you? She has the intention of betraying at any time, so now she will temporarily deceive this stupid person. Low-level life. Gaga, she is indeed a very smart beast king. She can think of such a plan. This guy must have been ecstatic after hearing that she surrendered. Well, what's going on? This damn low-level creature, why is life looking at me like a fool? Could it be that he has seen through my great plan? No, My plan should be unfathomable and impossible to see through. The red-haired lowly looked confused. Do you think there is a problem somewhere? Do you want to pretend to agree to my conditions on the surface, and then escape and take revenge after you get out of trouble? Furukawa looked at the red-haired Lolita speechlessly. How did you know? Can you read my heart? The red-haired lowly was shocked. She felt that Furukawa, a shameless lowlife, must have the ability to read minds. No, you don't need the advanced ability of mind reading to see this kind of thing. You can see it casually. Furukawa waved his hand. Haha, stop pretending. I didn't expect that an inferior being like you knows so many tricks, even the ability to read minds, so I can't hide it from you. That's right. The great beast king never grovels, nor is he a slave.
You should give up on this.
I would rather be suppressed than surrender to you. The red-haired lowly ignored Furukawa's explanation and said to herself. She said that she is a great origin beast clan. Even if her plan is seen through, she will never surrender. This is the dignity of the Beast King, and she will never surrender. A slave. Forget it if you don't surrender. Can you please stop yelling all day? Aren't you tired? Furukawa roared. No, I'm going to yell, and I have to yell 3 times a day, making noise that you can't stand, and then release me. If you don't want to be disturbed, release me, the Skyfire Beast King, quickly. The red-haired lowly stared at Furukawa with a ferocious expression and told her perfect plan. After hearing this, Furukawa said, he didn't even know what to say better. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 603. Ahem. In that case, just shout slowly here. Furukawa coughed, turned around, and left. Damn. Despicable Furukawa. Don't leave. Don't leave if you have the guts. Let me out now, or I won't stop shouting every day. Seeing that Furukawa really left, the red-haired lowly suddenly became anxious and shouted immediately. However, Furukawa acted as if he didn't hear anything and instead accelerated his pace of leaving. Not long after, Furukawa returned to the palace. By the way, I added a sound-blocking barrier to prevent me from being harassed by the red-haired Lolita's magic sound and preventing me from sleeping. Continuing like this is not an option. Furukawa touched his chin. If he continues to suppress the Skyfire Beast King in this way, his important magic weapon, the original ancient snake talisman, must be suppressed here at all times and cannot be easily used. Once the original ancient snake talisman is separated, with the help of the Skyfire Beast Kings, the power is estimated to be able to break free immediately and tear Wuxia apart. If he cannot use the original ancient snake talisman, it is equivalent to destroying one of his methods, so he must find a way to completely defeat this Skyfire Beast King. By the way, Sun Wukong seems to be in the same situation. Furukawa narrowed his eyes. The Tathagata Buddha personally took action to suppress the lawless Sun Wukong and personally suppressed Sun Wukong under the Wuxia mountain for 500 years. But even so, it is impossible to erase Sun Wukong's ferocity in just 500 years. This comes from the innate character of Stone Monkey is indelible. But on the way to obtain the scriptures, Sun Wukong was still surrendered, relying on the golden hoop given to Tang Monk by Guanyin Bodhisattva. Once Tang Monk recited the tightening mantra, the magic weapon would continue to tighten, allowing Sun Wukong to he had a splitting headache and was in terrible pain. Such torture was simply worse than death. Even the lawless Sun Wukong was tamed by this simple golden hoop. The same reason. If he refined the same golden hoop, he would use this magic weapon wearing it on the Skyfire Beast King. You might be able to tame the lawless Skyfire Beast King. Of course. It is not that simple to tame the Skyfire Beast King, a high-level lord of the universe. Ordinary magic weapons have no effect on the Skyfire Beast King. If it were really that easy, I don't know how many universe masters on the Origin continent could tame the Beast King. Unfortunately, no universe master has been able to do this so far. No, that's not right. All things are interdependent, and the Origin Beast is not an invincible existence. The Origin continent is so big, boundless, and as vast as clouds and smoke, there must be something that can restrain the Beast King. Furukawa's eyes showed a glint. An ordinary universe master would never find such a thing. After all, the origin continent is too big. It would be impossible to find it purely by luck. But I am different. I have the secret treasure of the universe, the Wish Compass. If I rely on the power of the Wish Compass, I might be able to find such a treasure. Thinking of this, he suddenly got inspiration and immediately took out the Wish Compass from his body.
Boom tilde tilde.
In an instant, Furukawa used the power of chi and blood in his body and instilled it into the Wish Compass. Immediately, the huge power on his body chi and blood poured into the Wish Compass, as if it were free of charge. The pointer of the Wish Compass was also constantly rotating, as if it communicated with the power of fate in the dark, pulling the lines of fate and cause and effect, touching higher dimensions. I don't know how much time passed, but Furukawa felt that he had lost almost all the blood and essence in his body, and the Wish Compass finally stopped, and the pointer also pointed to an unknown place. Does such a thing really exist? Furukawa was extremely excited. He had just tried it before, and did not have 100% hope. But now he sees that there is indeed such a treasure on the origin continent. And such a treasure is also extremely precious. You must know that he is the Lord of the Advanced Universe, who has mastered the power of 490,000 cosmic reincarnations, has an incredible amount of energy and blood in his body. But even so, in order to find this treasure, he still consumed almost an average amount of blood and essence in his body. One can imagine the price he paid this time. But it was all worth it. After all, once such a treasure is found, it will not only be as simple as controlling the Skyfire Beast King, but also many Beast Kings on the origin continent.
He can control it.
When many Beast Kings become his subordinates, wouldn't it be possible to sweep across the origin continent and become invincible? There is no doubt that this is the super trump card that allowed the primitive kingdom of God to rise rapidly. It must not be missed. A few days later, Furukawa swallowed a large amount of magic medicine, quickly restored the missing essence and blood in his body, restored his repair to its peak state, and then set off in the direction guided by the Wish Compass. He flew all the way for tens of thousands of years. He passed through countless mountains, rivers, and deserts on the way, and also encountered many powerful creatures. But fortunately, everything was a near miss. Wait, is this place the Forbidden Mountains? Furukawa's pupils shrank. He stared at the boundless and vast mountain range in front of him, entrenching the earth like a giant dragon. He couldn't see the end of it. Moreover, this mountain range was shrouded in boundless white mist, and he couldn't see it at all. Its true appearance cannot be penetrated even by the consciousness of the Lord of the universe. Waves of extremely mysterious auras emanate from this mysterious mountain range, as if there are extremely terrifying monsters dormant deep inside. He suddenly remembered all the legends about the Forbidden Mountains. It is said that the Forbidden Mountains are a terrifying place as famous as the ruins of the ancient gods, where countless lords of the universe have fallen. And unlike the ruins of the ancient gods, the Forbidden Mountains are the domain mountain range has existed in this place since ancient times, and you can enter it at any time. But even so, once you enter it, 9 out of 10 people will fall inside, and one of them will become a madman and be severely injured, barely able to survive. Therefore, even the Lord of the Universe, who was lucky enough to survive, was silent about the situation in the Forbidden Mountains and did not reveal the slightest information inside. That is why this place is called the Forbidden Area. Even the Lord of the Universe, a truly forbidden place that is difficult to enter. You actually have to go into the Forbidden Mountains to find the treasure that controls the Beast King? Furukawa didn't expect that he would need to enter such a dangerous place, but if he thought about it carefully, it was a matter of course. If it weren't for such a special and unique treasure, how could it have not been mastered by anyone until now? What if it was a treasure in the ordinary universe? Lord, if you face this kind of situation, you will probably be intimidated. Fortunately, I have a wish compass. Even if I am trapped in the Forbidden Mountains, I can still find the only way out. Furukawa's eyes showed a glimmer of light. He is now a very brave and talented person, and he also has many cosmic secret treasures on his body, and he is not afraid of this prestigious Forbidden Mountain range. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 604.
Whoosh.
Furukawa's body flashed, and he entered the Forbidden Mountain range without any hesitation. As soon as he entered it, he immediately discovered why the Forbidden Mountains had become a forbidden area for the lords of the universe. Even though there might be countless treasures hidden in this place, he was unwilling to enter it. This is because after entering the Forbidden Mountains, endless white mist will appear immediately. Under these mysterious white mist, even the consciousness of the Lord of the Universe has no effect. If observed with the naked eye, it would be hundreds of kilometers away at most. Don't think that a distance of hundreds of kilometers is very far. That is just the perception of ordinary people. For the level of the Lord of the Universe, it is probably a short distance. Once there is any danger, this distance is not safe at all. The most important thing is that if you lose your awareness of the surrounding environment, you will be completely lost in the Forbidden Mountains and will never be able to find the way out. This place is indeed dangerous. Just a few kilometers into the Forbidden Mountains, Furukawa found that he was completely disoriented, as if he had entered chaos. He couldn't tell up, down, left, south, east, west, or where he was. Fortunately, there is a wish compass that can guide him in the direction he is going, otherwise he would be like a headless fly just running around, etc. At this moment, when Furukawa was moving forward according to the wish compass, his hair suddenly stood up, and he felt a fatal crisis, which made him immediately hold his breath, converge the breath all over his body, and turn himself into nothingness. Existence, eliminating his own sense of existence. He felt a terrifying aura from the depths of the fog, as if a terrifying monster was hiding in the fog, waiting to devour its prey. Then, from the depths of the fog, there were bursts of horrifying howls. "Have mercy on me! Have mercy on me! I'm so pitiful! I'm really pitiful!" Waves of sounds passed through, like demonic sounds piercing the ears, which were simply many times more terrifying than even the sound source beasts. Maybe Leia would be able to have such strength if she was promoted to the top beast king in the future. But now it is far less than the terrifying monster in the fog. He felt that such a sound was transmitted to the depths of his consciousness, and it seemed that he took control of his body in an instant, which made him feel pity and couldn't help but walk in the direction of the sound. Oops, it's the howler. In an instant, Furukawa suddenly woke up deep in his heart. He instantly remembered those terrifying titles for the Lord of the Universe, and this howler was one of the terrifying monsters. It is said that this monster once appeared in various places on the Origin continent. Everywhere, they appear from time to time, and then make a wailing sound. All creatures that hear this sound will involuntarily approach the howler, and each one queues up in front of the howler, only to be howled. The crier was swallowed in one gulp. Moreover, the ability of the howler was so terrifying that even the Lord of the higher universe could not resist such a cry. Everyone was attracted to it, just like Jiang Taigong fishing, whoever wanted to take the bait. In the reincarnation time of countless universes, the lives eaten by the howler are simply countless. He never expected that the howler would actually appear in the Forbidden Mountains. "Run away." Furukawa said nothing and used his space-time wings. His wings shook, and his speed increased hundreds of millions of times in vain. Even the chaotic space-time in all directions turned into ripples. At the same time, a barrier of chaos emerged from his body, barely blocking the howler. The sound of the howler. In an instant, he escaped hundreds of millions of light years before finally getting rid of the cry of the howler. Didn't catch up. After sensing that the howler's voice had completely disappeared, Furukawa breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the howler didn't notice him. Otherwise, he doesn't know what would have happened. But the howler himself is an extremely lazy tidal universe. Lord, it relies on the power of howling to attract countless prey to the bait. As long as it opens its mouth, it can swallow countless lives. It is too lazy to catch the prey. It is precisely because of this character that the life of the origin continent he was less likely to encounter the poisonous hands of the Howler and was able to survive. Wait, where have I come to again? In an instant, Furukawa found that in order to avoid the power of the Howler, he actually came to a strange and mysterious area. He found that there were dense mirrors in this area, as if he had entered the world of mirrors, and there were all around him. The dense shadows were all my own. Whoosh! The next second, densely packed Furukawa appeared in this place. Thousands, no, it should be hundreds of millions endless Furukawa appeared in this place. Moreover, the aura of these clone Furukawa is almost exactly the same as that of the original Furukawa. They looked at each other curiously. The scene was extremely strange. Who are you? And who are you? I am Furukawa. Fart. I am Furukawa. You are the fart. I am the real Furukawa. In an instant, many Furukawa clones began to talk and chatter at once, and they all had the same personality. Even different Furukawa clones began to curse, just like in a vegetable market. Wait, is the person with this ability a mirror person? Furukawa's heart suddenly sank. He instantly remembered that the master of the universe could possess such strange abilities, and that was the famous mirror imager. Legend has it that this famous master of the universe could copy all the magical powers of his enemies. All spells, all abilities, and even the memories in the mind can be copied. Fighting with the Lord of the Universe means fighting with yourself, and at the same time, the opponent can copy thousands of himself. Of course, the enemy's strength the more powerful it is, the fewer mirror images will be copied. However, the title Lord of the Universe is too powerful. He has at least tens of millions of cosmic reincarnation powers. He is much more powerful than Furukawa and can easily copy countless Furukawa. It's too dangerous. This damn place is too dangerous. Furukawa's face was extremely solemn. To be honest, he didn't expect the Forbidden Mountain Range to be so terrifying. No wonder many universe masters came to this place and narrowly escaped death. Even if they were lucky enough to leave here, they kept silent about this place. What is the difference between this place and this place? It's the monster's lair. By the way, who are you? The next second, many mirror images of Furukawa looked at the main body Furukawa in unison, with strange looks in their eyes and a strange force-bound Furukawa's body. It seems that once Furukawa answers this question, he will be eternity is trapped in this mirror. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 605. Can't answer any questions. The instinct of Furukawa's body warned him so strongly. Once he answers any question, it will trigger the mechanism of this mirror realm, and he will be trapped in this mirror world forever and will never be able to escape. But even so, now this situation is also dangerous, with a narrow escape. Because there is no way to escape now. He is in the mirror realm. That is, the mirror world. Like countless parallel time and space, if one mirror is broken, there will be countless mirror worlds. Also because of this, in the origin continent, if you encounter a monster like the mirror one, you will almost die. There is no way to escape from the mirror world, and you can only be trapped in this world forever. By the way, I have real money on me. In an instant, Furukawa suddenly remembered a cosmic secret treasure on his body, the real coin. This is the only coin condensed from 3,000 chaos coins. It contains incredible power. Before, he used the real coin. One of the abilities, that is, confinement, instantly imprisoned the Skyfire Beast King, who had the power of 900,000 cosmic reincarnations. If it were not for this real coin, he would not have been able to deal with the Skyfire Beast King so easily. After such a long time, the cooling time of real coins has long passed. However, under the current circumstances, using the confinement ability of real coins is a bit overkill. After all, he is in the Forbidden Mountains. In the Forbidden Mountains, there are too many monsters like Mirror Imager. If one Mirror Imager is imprisoned, there are many other monsters. but this ability has a cooling time. After using it, it will take a long time before he can use it again, so the ability to imprison cannot be used unless absolutely necessary. If this is the case, then there is only the first ability to use real money. Absolute luck. Real coin ability 1. Absolute luck. Holding this real coin, you can get absolute luck. Whatever you want in your heart will definitely come true. Whatever you want to find, you will definitely find. Even if you are in a desperate situation, can also find the only way to survive. This is absolute luck. No law can interfere. This is the only way to escape. Duration: 24 hours, activated once, needs to cool down for 100 million years. Thinking of this, Furukawa didn't hesitate anymore. He immediately took out the golden coin and activated its ability in an instant.
Boom tilde tilde.
In an instant, Furukawa sensed an unimaginable power of destiny. Covered his whole body. At this moment, he seemed to have communicated with the infinite destiny in the dark, as if he was blessed with endless luck. All of a sudden, he felt that he had entered an absolutely rational state, as if all his emotions were at this moment have been abandoned, leaving only a mechanical mind. By the way, go to this place.
Furukawa seems to have sensed something.
Even in the endless mirror world, there is the only gap. This is the void crack in the mirror. But such a void crack is difficult to find even for the Lord of the Universe at the same level. Such cracks are hidden in the endless mirror world. The many mirror images. Furukawa seemed to sense something, and couldn't help asking, "What do you want to do?" When he spoke this time, it was as if billions of Furukawa's voices were superimposed, making a buzzing sound. But Furukawa didn't pay attention at all and walked straight forward. Stop him. The faces of these mirror images changed, and they immediately took action, trying to stop Furukawa. But at this moment, Furukawa's feet seemed to trip over the stones on the roadside, and he fell down, avoiding the influence of these mirror images.
Attack.
And the next second, his body got into the cracks in the mirror world and disappeared in front of countless mirror images in an instant. What happened? Why did it suddenly disappear? It's impossible. You can actually find the flaw in the mirror world and the only crack in the void in an instant. How is this possible? He is just a high-level master of the universe, and he can actually escape from the mirror realm? Many mirrors were shocked. They had no idea what happened just now. This was something unprecedented. This was also the first time in the history of the mirrors that their prey had escaped. It was simply unbelievable.
Boom tilde tilde.
The next second, Furukawa's figure suddenly appeared in the real world. It was still a forbidden mountain range, surrounded by endless fog with no end in sight. At this time, he had already left the realm of the mirror imager. By the way, I want to find the treasure in that place, and I need to go towards this place. Furukawa seemed to sense something. It was the call of fate. Even if he couldn't see any road in front of him, he still accepted the call of fate and walked forward. At this moment, he was neither happy nor sad, fearless and fearless. Little brother, stop. Do you want to hear me tell a story? Can you listen to the old man tell a story? At this moment, an old man in gray robes suddenly walked out of the fog. He was holding an encyclopedia in his hand and exuded a strange aura. When he saw Furukawa's appearance, his eyes suddenly lit up. He waved to Furukawa. The words contain a powerful summoning power. It seems that no creature can control its own body and automatically walks towards the old man. If there is a title of Lord of the Universe, he will definitely be horrified if he sees this old man in gray robe. Because this gray-robed old man is the famous monster, the Narrator. It is one of the most terrifying monsters walking in the Origin continent. It is as famous as the Nar and other monsters. It claims to be a witness to the Origin continent's history, like a shadow walking in eras, time and space, and history. It likes to record everything it sees and hears in its books. It is said that its books record countless secrets of the Origin continent. Witness of legends. If that's all it is, but it is a truly terrifying monster. It likes to tell everything it sees and hears, and likes its legends and stories to be passed down. But its power is really, it's so terrifying. Once they listen to the narrator's story, the listener will completely lose their freedom, and all the blood and soul in their body will be swallowed up by the narrator. Then the listener will be imprisoned in the book forever and become the characters in the book. Become part of history, become part of its memory. Therefore, you must not listen to the narrator telling any stories. Once you listen, you can never get rid of it. At this moment, although Furukawa did not know the horror of the narrator, he ignored it at all. With the blessing of absolute luck, the narrator's power could not affect him at all, and he still walked forward. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 606. Little brother, stop quickly. You can't go forward. That place is very dangerous. The narrator was extremely surprised when he saw that Furukawa was not affected by his own power. It waved to Furukawa again, hoping to call Furukawa down. As long as Furukawa stopped, even once, it would be impossible to resist its power. But Furukawa ignored it at all, as if turning a deaf ear, and still walked forward. It's interesting that the one who can resist my power is just the Lord of the higher universe. I'd like to see what power is blocking me. The gray-robed old man's eyes shone brightly, and he was very excited. He has been walking in the continent of origin for countless years, and has encountered countless strong men, countless monsters, and witnessed all kinds of incredible abilities. But at this moment, its long-lost thirst for knowledge suddenly burst out, and it became extremely curious about Furukawa. It is incredible that a mere master of the universe can withstand the power of the narrator himself. Secret. This, the Lord of the higher universe, must have amazing secrets. Thinking of this, the narrator can no longer suppress his inner curiosity, because he never hides his curiosity and gossip, which is the source of his power. It wanted to forcefully capture Furukawa, even if it violated the narrator's principle of not forcing it.
Boom.
At this moment, in the air in front, terrifying had suddenly appeared. There are at least dozens or hundreds of monsters. Each monster has at least the strength to be called the Lord of the Universe, and at least has the power of millions of universe reincarnations. Some powerful ones even have the power of tens of millions of universe reincarnations. And the monsters are simply unheard of, unseen, and they start fighting for no reason. From the sky to the ground, from the ground to the sky, they fight like crazy. They bite each other, inspiring terrifying spells, and the chaotic void in all directions all produced astonishing void fluctuations, which simply exploded the void, and countless void cracks appeared. The aftermath of each collision was enough to tear a high-level lord of the universe into pieces. If Furukawa was a virgin in a sober state, it was impossible to break into this extremely dangerous battlefield, but under the shroud of absolute luck, he had no consciousness, followed the guidance of fate, and walked directly in.
Bang, bang, bang.
In an instant, hundreds of monsters were fighting with each other. At this moment, they also noticed Furukawa, the superior master of the universe, but now was the critical moment of the battle, and they had no time to pay attention to him. And it was just the superior master of the universe. They don't care about such a weak person at all. They may be shocked to death by the aftermath of any battle. What happened? A little guy broke in? He's just the master of the higher universe, but he dares to break into the place where we're fighting. Do you want to die? It's probably a rookie who accidentally broke into the Forbidden Mountain range, so don't pay any attention to it. You're right. If you dare to have any ideas, just kill him directly. Wait, the narrator seems to have appeared too. What this monster wants to do, we have no story here. Many monsters were talking about it. Compared with uninvited guests like Furukawa, they were more concerned about the narrator, a terrifying monster.
Impossible.
At this moment, the narrator's pupils contracted. It thought that Furukawa was stupid enough to intrude into the battle scene of these monsters and was dead. He would be killed in an instant. But the next second it was shocked. This kid was walking on the battlefield. Among them, it actually passed through every fighting gap with ease. The aftermath of every battle happened to pass by this kid by coincidence. Even if it was just 1 centimeter off, this kid would probably be beaten. He was seriously injured. But if he preferred to die, none of the monster's power would affect this boy. It was as if the goddess of luck possessed his body, and all fatal disasters would be far away from him. Yeah? If there are really so many brothers and sisters, why don't any of them come to save you? Could it be that they are all superficial brothers and good friends? Furukawa said with disdain.
What?
Hearing this, the red-haired lowly suddenly became so angry that she could hardly refute it. She had never known how many beast kings were brothers to her before, as if they were willing to go through fire and water for her, even to the death. But now, she was in trouble and was suppressed at the foot of Wuxia Mountain. None of the Sisters of Life and Death showed up, let alone coming here to save her. They didn't even see any of them, as if she was dead. She has finally seen through the true colors of those group of friends. None of them can be trusted. This is really the Beast King. The sow can climb the tree. It is extremely abominable. It's none of your business. My friend is still on the way here. Let me go quickly, otherwise when my friend arrives, the entire primitive kingdom of God will be destroyed, you know? If you let me go now, you still have a chance to be forgiven by me. The red-haired lowly gritted her teeth, not wanting to be outdone at all. It's not impossible to let you out. Furukawa touched his chin. What? Are you telling the truth? After hearing this, the red-haired lowly was immediately confused. She thought she had heard wrong. Is this guy really willing to let her go? But this is not normal at all. Of course what I said is true. I always keep my promise. Furukawa smiled slightly. But before leaving, you should put on this golden hoop first. He took out a golden hoop from his body. What the hell is this? Golden hoop? Is it something evil? I won't wear this kind of thing. Just give up on it. The more the red-haired lowly looked at it, the more she felt that Furukawa, the bastard, had ulterior motives and must have some conspiracy. She also felt that this golden hoop contained an incredible power. It must not be worn. Once worn, I'm afraid unpredictable things will happen. This is not up to you. Furukawa waved his hand and immediately put the golden hoop on the red-haired lowly's head.
Boom, tilde, tilde, tilde.
In an instant, when this golden hoop was put on the little head of the red-haired Lolita, dense thorns sprouted from the body, and they pierced into the head of the red-haired Lolita, and at the same time, they swallowed up the essence and blood on her body. The sun recognized his master. What happened? You despicable villain! What have you done to me? The red-haired lowly suddenly shouted. She found that a golden hoop appeared on her head. It seemed to be integrated with her head and even her soul, and she couldn't take it off at all. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 610. This is a golden hoop, which I call the Crown of Thorns. It is specially designed to deal with stubborn creatures like you. Once you put it on, you can never take it off unless I give you permission. Moreover, if you disobey my orders, you will also suffer consequences. The pain is unimaginable. Even if you are the Lord of the universe, you cannot resist it. Furukawa waved his big hand gently. Suddenly, the original ancient snake talisman immediately fell off from the Five Fingers Mountain and fell into his hand. What? At this moment, the red-haired lowly was ecstatic, and she felt the suppression on her body. The endless pressure actually disappeared at this moment, and the abominable talisman was taken back. In other words, there is no longer any treasure that can suppress him. Damn bastard! How dare you suppress me for so many years? The red-haired Lolita was very excited, and the terrifying power of cosmic reincarnation immediately burst out from her body. As a beast king, even the brute force on her body is beyond the imagination of ordinary life. She is obviously just a little Lolita, but she is containing unimaginable violence.
Boom.
With just a slight shock, the originally extremely heavy Wuxia mountain could not withstand the explosive power transmitted by the red-haired Lolita. It exploded in an instant and fell into pieces. The entire mountain, it seemed that it was about to collapse at this moment. The next second, the red-haired loli suddenly broke free from the Wuxia mountain and immediately wanted to attack Furukawa. You really can't see the coffin without shedding tears. Furukawa raised his eyebrows, and with a slight finger, the crown of thorns immediately moved, as if it had turned into a living thing at this moment, and began to shrink on the red-haired Lolita's head. At the same time, the crown of thorns also grew. Many spikes pierced into the red-haired Loli's head in an instant. The red-haired Loli suddenly felt that her body could not move, as if she had been poisoned, and all the strength in her body disappeared at this moment. Even though she had the power to create the world, she could not do anything at this moment. Use it. If that was all, the crown of thorns moved, producing terrifying whipping, punishment, and other powers that penetrated her body and soul, causing unimaginable pain. No. Stop it now. The red-haired Loli let out a shrill scream. At this moment, she seemed to be under an endless illusion, and her soul was pulled into a special soul space. At this moment, her entire body was tied to a cross, and her body was wrapped around the dense thorns ripped through her body in an instant, and she was whipped continuously and subjected to endless torture. Moreover, the pain was magnified hundreds of millions of times, and no force could stop it. This was torture for the body and soul. It seemed that every day a whipping is a torture of the soul. Even in this special soul space, the flow rate of time is different from that of the outside world. Only 1 second has passed in the outside world, but hundreds of millions of epochs have passed inside. It can be said that even if in the past few seconds, she seemed to have been tortured for countless epochs. Even according to the tenacity of the Beast King, it was difficult to bear such punishment. This is the power of the thorn tree, and no life can stop its punishment and punishment.
Force.
Stop? Then, do you still dare to attack me? Do you still dare to cause trouble? Furukawa stood with his hands behind his back and looked at the red-haired Lolita calmly. I don't dare anymore. I won't dare anymore. Please spare me this time. The red-haired Lolita screamed. This time she really gave in. This was completely unimaginable pain and torture, a torture of the soul. So even though she was an unruly beast king, she still gave in under such torture. Don't dare to resist anymore. Very good. Furukawa could hear the red-haired Loli's submissive voice. He was very satisfied with the power of the crown of thorns. In this case, I will temporarily lift the punishment. If there is a next time, I will let you suffer for 3 minutes. Although it was only 3 minutes, each second was like a year, and it was simply unimaginable to be tortured. With a light finger, he temporarily released the power of the crown of thorns. There is no doubt that this kind of head is similar to that of Sun Wukong. The crown of thorns with the golden hoop on it can completely tame an unruly creature like the Beast King. It is a natural nemesis. No matter how stubborn it is, it must be surrendered. This. At this moment, the red-haired Loli, who was still holding her head and rolling on the ground, was breathing heavily at this moment. She felt as if she had returned to heaven at this moment. To be honest, she had never felt that. Even if it was pure living is such a blessing, even having enough food and clothing is so hard one. The way she looked at Furukawa was filled with awe and fear. Before, she had never imagined that there was such a thing in the world. Treasure, even the Beast King, can control it. Now she is so regretful that her intestines are green. If she had known that this hateful low-level life was so terrifying and had so many methods, even if she was beaten to death, she would not come to trouble Furukawa. But it's too late to regret now. By the way, do you have any friends who are Beast Kings?
Furukawa asked.
What do you want to do? The red-haired Loli looked at Furukawa warily. Do you still need to ask? Of course. Catch them all, wear crowns of thorns on them all, and control them all. Furukawa clenched his fists. Stop dreaming, I will not betray them, even to death. The red-haired Loli gritted her teeth. Even though she said this, her heart was tingling because she knew the power of this crown of thorns. It was a punishing power that would definitely make even the Beast King surrender. And just now it was just it's only a short time. In fact, if the power of the Crown of Thorns reaches its limit, the Beast King will have his mind destroyed if he still refuses to surrender. Then the Crown of Thorns will create a perfect personality, and then this perfect personality will be to control this Beast King body is equivalent to cleaning out the original memory and forcibly transforming it into another perfect life. If she continues to resist stubbornly, she will definitely turn into a puppet. Even if she dies, she will be the Beast King. Her power will also be used by this hateful guy. Even if she sensed such danger, she succumbed, and there was nothing she could do about it. Because her resistance was meaningless, whether she surrendered or not, there is nothing I can do. This is the terrifying power of the Crown of Thorns. If my Beast King friends also fall into the hands of this bastard, I am afraid they will end up like me. By then, I don't know how many Beast Kings have been killed by this abominable bastard.
Slavery.
She shuddered at the thought of such a thing. Forget it, I don't care about this kind of power, as long as they don't come to trouble. And you, I'm just releasing you temporarily, not letting you go free. Don't cause trouble for me in the primitive kingdom of God. Otherwise, if so, the punishment will not be that simple next time. Furukawa looked at the red-haired lowly calmly. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 611. In fact, the true ability of the Crown of Thorns is not limited to punishment. Furukawa has known it for a long time and used his all-knowing eye to analyze the secrets from the beginning. Just like the golden hoop on Sun Wukong's head, how can it control the rebellious Sun Wukong? Could it be that just pain can make Sun Wukong surrender? This is of course impossible. I remember that when Sun Wukong caused havoc in the Heavenly Palace, he was caught by the Jade Emperor and subjected to various tortures and punishments. Later, he was captured and burned in the alchemy furnace by Taishang Laojun. This kind of torture was much crueler than having a splitting headache. At that time, Sun Wukong did not surrender. But wearing the golden hoop makes you surrender. This is because the golden hoop has such brainwashing power that it can even change the memory and emotions in the brain of the host who has fallen victim to this magic weapon. This is the terrifying ability and effect of the golden hoop. The power of the Crown of Thorns is undoubtedly many times more powerful than the golden hoop. Even a high-level universe master like the Beast King cannot resist it. At the same time, this magic weapon is also difficult to destroy. It has been integrated with the soul of the host itself. Once destroyed, it means the death of the host itself. Both will be prosperous, and both will be damaged. I get it. The red-haired lowly gritted her teeth. Although she was very unwilling to do so, she also knew that people had to bow their heads under the eaves. Now it was even more so that people were fighting for their own good, so she had no choice but to admit defeat. And seeing the look in Furukawa's eyes, she knew that the other party, it's not a joke. If she really dared to resist, she would not hesitate to use the Crown of Thorns to erase her memory and turn herself into a real puppet. She had no choice but to hold back and run away and destroy the original kingdom of God. The urge. Wait for me, don't let me find a way to remove this Crown of Thorns. Otherwise, I will definitely cause trouble in the primitive kingdom of heaven and make this bastard suffer extremely heavy losses. But for now, I can only endure it for the time being and make mistakes. Deceive this guy, lower his vigilance, and find a way to remove the Crown of Thorns. By the way, the most important thing is to destroy the evil magic weapon like the Crown of Thorns and never let it appear in the origin continent. Otherwise, the origin beast will the clan is doomed. The red-haired lowly feels that she shoulders the important responsibility of the survival of the origin beast clan. If an evil magic weapon like the Crown of Thorns spreads, no one knows how many beast kings will be killed by it. No, not just the origin. The beast clan is so simple. In fact, this Crown of Thorns has the same effect on any life, not just the origin beast. I am afraid that this will cause a crisis for all life in the origin continent. There is no doubt that, given time, this guy must be the origin. One of the most terrifying demon kings in the mainland, 100 times more terrifying than those natural disasters. Thinking of this, the red-haired lowly couldn't help but feel a sense of sacred responsibility deep in her heart. Then she obeyed the order obediently and came to a room in the palace.
Take a break.
After all, she has been under the suppression of the original ancient snake talisman all the time, and she has lost an unknown amount of vitality. If she wants to restore her power to the peak level, she will still need to spend a lot of time. At this time, Furukawa breathed a sigh of relief after solving the problem of the Skyfire Beast King and recovering the original ancient snake talisman. It seemed that he had finally solved a huge hidden danger in the original Divine Kingdom. And now there is no need to worry about what big trouble the Skyfire Beast King will cause to the primitive kingdom of God if he escapes from Wuxia. At the same time, the primitive ancient snake talisman, an important weapon of faith, does not need to suppress the Skyfire Beast King all the time. It can be used anytime and anywhere. They were all used by Furukawa, and he had another trump card. By the way, at this time, the chaotic universe should be welcoming the return of the gods, and Pengu, this kid, should also be resurrected. I wonder where he was reincarnated and what race he became. Furukawa touched his chin. He suddenly remembered that before he retreated, the souls of the gods had returned from the long river of time and space to the heavens and worlds, and they were probably reincarnated one after another. Of course, because the injuries of each chaos demon god are different. So their reincarnation times are actually earlier and later, and they are not reincarnated at the same time. Those with lighter injuries will naturally be faster, and those with more severe injuries will naturally be slower. And Pengu's injury was actually also very serious, so his reincarnation time will also be much slower, but even so, even if it is much slower, he should be reborn in the world by now.
Boom.
Thinking of this, Furukawa's heart moved, and he immediately sent his consciousness through the universe. His heart was suddenly immersed in the endless, chaotic universe. Every place in the chaotic universe could not be hidden from his perception. The breath of any life was within the scope of his divine consciousness. It was like God's perspective, observing every place. It didn't take long for him to feel Pengu's aura. Haha, he has indeed been reincarnated. Furukawa smiled slightly. At this time, Pengu's soul had broken free from the long river of time and space, and then entered the prehistoric world. After all, Pengu put in a lot of effort to open up the prehistoric world, and at the same time, his body of the Chaos Demon God was also integrated into the prehistoric world. Among them, there is a great causal relationship with the prehistoric world. Therefore, Pengu was naturally reincarnated in the prehistoric world. However, he was not reincarnated in the witch clan, but in the human race, in the human world among the 6 worlds. At the same time, he was reincarnated in the witch clan. His reincarnated body was not that of a prince or general. He was just the son of an ordinary family in a small country, a small mountain village in the human world. Then he became a descendant of this family and became a woodcutter. Typhon cut firewood on the mountain and sold it to support his family. It turns out that the soul memory has not awakened yet. Furukawa touched his chin. In fact, this is Pengu's soul protecting this mortal body. As a tyrannical demon god of chaos, the power of the soul is so powerful that it is beyond imagination. Once the soul memory is completely awakened, then the memory alone is enough to burst this human body, bursting into pieces like fireworks. Therefore, in order to protect this body, Pengu's soul instinctively hides all memories, so Pengu has not awakened yet. Just immortal. At the same time, because he was so well concealed, even the passing immortals could not discover any secrets about Pengu, and they all thought that he was just a mortal without any qualifications. After all, what about the power of the Chaos Demon God? Is it something that ordinary practitioners can see through? Because of this, Pengu is now 16 years old and still has not entered the path of spiritual practice. He is just an ordinary woodcutter in this small mountain village. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelverse@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 612. In that case, let me help you. Furukawa touched his chin. Of course, he did not immediately awaken Panga's soul memory, because he felt that losing his memory like this and embarking on the path of practice again, from weak to powerful, was also a time for a chaotic demon like Pangu. A very good practice experience and an excellent training. In fact, the emergence of the 6 paths of reincarnation has also allowed many chaos demon gods to give up their powerful bloodlines, reincarnate, and experience the process from weak to powerful. This is for them. The perception of power is of great benefit. After all, as a chaos demon god, he has supreme power and bloodline since he was born. He has no idea what the power of mortals is, and has never experienced the hardships of cultivation. Having such an advantage, for naturally it has great benefits at the beginning of practice. But after being promoted to the realm of gods, one step at a time, talent and bloodline will not have such a big effect at this time. Instead, they will become obstacles for the chaos demon gods to continue to break through. So I have experienced only with weak power can you better understand the preciousness of power and how to use it. This is a rare insight for the chaos demon god. But for Furukawa, although Pangu's memory will not be awakened, it can help Pangu embark on the path of spiritual practice again. It can be regarded as helping Pangu and letting the reincarnated Panga step into the door of spiritual practice. By the way, cultivation requires all kinds of knowledge, so refine a book of magical powers, which records all kinds of cultivation knowledge, like an encyclopedia. Furukawa formed a seal with his hands and cast a magical power.
Boom.
In an instant, a book of magical powers was quickly formed, which showed densely packed cultivation methods, various chaotic divine forbidden methods, and innate divine forbidden methods. Contains infinite mysteries, and seems to record countless knowledge between heaven and earth. These knowledge are Furukawa's many years of experience. You must know that Furukawa is now the lord of the higher universe and the strongest man in the chaotic universe. In countless epics, there are simply countless techniques, secrets, and techniques deduced. Even if this book only records part of his wisdom, it is quite amazing. It is definitely the first strange book in heaven and earth, even if it is the original creation language. Diedu is incomparable. The cultivation methods in this book point directly to the Great Road. Once practiced, one can be promoted to the supreme realm of the Lord of the Universe. If spread, I am afraid that all the gods will be shocked. Very well, let's call this book the Book of Wisdom. Furukawa was very satisfied. Pangu gave him the jade dish of creation, which greatly helped him in his spiritual practice. His achievements have a lot to do with Pangu. Pangu saved him in the first place, and now it's his turn to save him. Come to him to save Pangu. By the way, in addition to the method of cultivation, you also need a weapon. Furukawa narrowed his eyes. When he was opening up the prehistoric world and fighting against the killing Doomsday, Pangu fought with Doomsday, and the Kaition divine axe was shattered, integrated into the prehistoric world, and turned into an innate treasure. In other words, Pangu no longer has any. There are no magic weapons. Unlike when Chaos was born, there were 4 Chaos treasures from the beginning: the Chaos Green Lotus, the Sky-opening Divine Axe, the Earth-opening Chisel, and the Creation Jade Disc. Now Pangu is simply a poor ghost, with nothing. But as the master of the higher universe, Furukawa has too many magic weapons on his body. Even the treasures of chaos, he has too many to count. But for Furukawa now, he can no longer use just the treasures of chaos. No magic weapon of cosmic secret treasure level is worthy of Pangu, the top chaos demon god. Pangu likes to use axes, so let's refine an axe for him. But it can't be too powerful. It must be capable of growth, be able to grow with the owner, and have unlimited possibilities. Furukawa touched his chin. He didn't want to refine a powerful axe. Of course, he could also refine such a magic weapon, but it would have no meaning to Pangu. Growth magic weapons were the most useful to Pangu, meaningful, and also the one with the greatest potential. Fortunately, I have a lot of materials from the origin continent, so I can use them to refine an axe. Furukawa immediately took out a bunch of materials from his body, including the Stone of Life, the Stone of Fetish Gods, the Stone of Heavenly Crystal, the Divine Mark Purple Gold, the Origin Stone Essence, etc. These are enough to make even the Lord of the Universe salivate. Materials. These materials are basically obtained from the treasure house of the Skyfire Beast King, and now they are finally put to use.
Wow.
In an instant, under Furukawa's refining, these materials melted one after another and merged with each other. Chaos divine forbidden rules were penetrated one after another, and one after another forbidden formations were formed, causing these materials to undergo earth-shaking changes.
Boom tilde tilde.
The next second, a black axe finally took shape, showing a transparent state and exuding an incredible aura. It seemed that with a light axe, it would split the void in half. This axe is much more powerful than the original Kaition God axe in terms of material and sharpness. It is simply not on the same level. It has only two characteristics. One is immortality. It is difficult to be destroyed no matter what force it encounters. One is that it is sharp. With one strike of an axe, there is almost nothing it cannot destroy. It can defeat all means with one force. These two characteristics alone are almost the ultimate magic weapon, and it can continue to evolve as its owner becomes stronger. Okay, take these two treasures, the Book of Wisdom and the Axe of Creation. Furukawa gave the two treasures names.
Wow.
With a thought, the two magic weapons immediately passed through the heart of the universe deep in the sea of his consciousness and suddenly entered the chaotic universe.
Whoosh.
Not much more after a long time, these two treasures were easily transferred to Panga's body and instantly integrated into the deepest part of Panga's body, bound to his soul, and completely recognized as their master. No one can take these away from Pangu. Two treasures. Well, I hope you can take advantage of it. I'm really looking forward to it. Perceiving that these two treasures were delivered to Pangu, Furukawa smiled slightly. He was looking forward to the grown-up Pangu. He didn't know what his expression would be like after he awakened his memory. He felt that there was no need to see Pangu after his memory awakened. Too long. After all, it was just a retreat, and countless epochs had passed. According to Panga's cultivation speed, he felt that it would not be long before he could see Pangu at his peak again.
Boom tilde tilde.
In an instant, Furukawa once again entered a state of seclusion. With his body as the center, endless origin energy surged in, like a chaotic whirlpool. The origin energy in his body also increased rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 613. The Prehistoric World. The Human World. Western Chu Kingdom. Hedi Village. In one of the thatched houses in Hedi Village, the Chun family lives. They live a simple life and are considered a poor family. They make a living by cutting firewood, plowing fields, and raising cattle all day long. Panga's reincarnation was the son of the Chun family, named Chun Chongsheng. The reason for this name is because Chun Chongsheng was frail and sick as a child and almost died. Later, after being cured by doctors, Chun Chongsheng chose the name Chongsheng in order to make his son healthy in the future, hoping that his son would be disease-free throughout his life. No disaster can live a long life. In fact, after taking this name, Chun Chongsheng's health did get better and better. By the time he was 16, he was already a famous strongman and a famous woodcutter, cutting thousands of kilograms of wood every day up and down the mountain. Firewood has also made the Chun family's life in Hedi Village much better. That night, Chun Chongsheng was sleeping soundly, but at this moment, the Book of Wisdom and the Axe of Creation were teleported by Furukawa and merged into Panga's reincarnated body. At this moment, Chun Chongsheng felt that he seemed to have had a beautiful dream. He seemed to be a giant who stood tall and had the power to create the world. He was the Chaos Demon God. At the same time, a young Taoist priest in white robes also appeared in the dream, smiling and talking. He also felt extremely cordial when he greeted him, as if he had known this young Taoist for a long time. Who are you? Chen Chongqing couldn't help but ask. Don't be anxious, the time has not come yet. When the time comes, you will understand everything. The young Taoist in white robes smiled slightly, and with a flick of his finger, Chen Chongqing woke up from his sleep in an instant. After waking up, he forgot what happened last night. But at this time, he found that he didn't know what he was doing. When did a black axe appear? It seemed to appear out of thin air in his hand. At the same time, he also discovered that there was a strange book deep in the sea of his consciousness. This book instilled a lot of knowledge every moment, entering his own sea of consciousness. Moreover, this book seems to be like an encyclopedia, knowing many secrets. Whenever he encounters something that he does not understand or has never seen before, he can give him the answer. What's wrong? Chongqing, looking at you looking restless. Could something have happened? While eating breakfast, both Father Chen and Mother Chen saw their son's uneasiness and couldn't help but ask. I don't know, I had a strange dream last night, as if an immortal gave me something. Chen Chongqing patted his head honestly and honestly told what happened last night. Haha, what's weird about dreams? Every day I dream about being a landlord, owning dozens of acres of fertile land, and eating meat every day. Father Chen laughed. That's it, silly boy. This is a sweet dream, better than a nightmare. Mother Chen also smiled. Father and Mother, you are right, I want to chop wood. Chen Chongqing nodded. Although he felt it was very strange, he was naturally honest and didn't care. Nothing made him feel more at ease and more excited than chopping firewood. He didn't know what instinct he had. When you hold an axe in your hand, there is nothing in the world to fear. So I still follow the same pace as before, go up the mountain to chop firewood and go down the mountain to carry firewood. Strange. What kind of luck line is this? It seems that this can absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth and restore physical fatigue. After Chen Chongqing cut down a tree, he suddenly discovered that extremely complex pictures emerged from the depths of his consciousness, with densely packed routes appearing on them. They were extremely vast, like the lines of a great road, covering the entire universe. It seems that all 3,000 avenues are contained in it. Strange, it should be very complicated, but why do I think it is so simple? Chen Chongqing blinked. He instinctively felt that this mysterious art of breathing in and out seemed to be tailor-made for him, and it perfectly fit his body. Instinctively, he followed the road map above and began to breathe out the world. Aura, this seems to come from the instinct of the soul, as if I understood this skill in an instant. It turns out that it is really simple, and it seems that my body is not very tired anymore. Chen Chongqing was very excited. He found that with such a unique breath, the endless spiritual energy between heaven and earth seemed to be conscious, turning into a giant dragon and pouring into his limbs and bones. Every time he took in and out of breath, his body a huge whirlpool of spiritual energy will be formed, as if all the spiritual energy of heaven and earth within 100 miles radius has been swallowed up by his body. It's indeed a good thing. Chen Chongqing is very satisfied. He doesn't know the method of cultivating immortals, nor does he know what the method of immortality is, but it is a good thing that can make his body recover from fatigue quickly. Originally, he would be half dead from exhaustion every time after chopping firewood. He could only recover at night, but it was different now. It seemed that he could recover with just one breath. It seemed that at this time, he had become a machine that never knew how tired it was. Blah blah blah. And the change was not just that. Chen Chongqing discovered that running after mastering this strange method of luck, when he chopped firewood, he was different from before. Every time he swung the axe, it seemed to comply with the laws of heaven and earth, just like the trajectory of heaven. Even every time he cut down a tree, the airflow in his body increased a little bit, and this kind of power is simply increasing day by day, improving his strength every moment. In just the past 2 years, Chen Chongqing found that his strength has reached an incredible level. Wild beasts and desolate beasts appear in the mountains. Monsters and beasts are not his enemies. Often those wild beasts just run up, show their teeth and claws, and make a noisy roar. In the end, They are beheaded by him with an axe within a second, just like chopping melons and vegetables. No matter how powerful the wild beast is, basically it can't withstand his axe. Originally, wild beasts often wreaked havoc around Hedi village. I don't know how many people in the village were swallowed by the wild beasts and how many wives were separated. But these two, the Nian desolate beast has completely disappeared. Hedi village seems to have become a forbidden land for the desolate beasts, and no desolate beast dares to set foot in this place anymore. This has also made Hedi village increasingly prosperous. Of course, the Qin family also gained wealth because of Qin Chongsheng. With a lot of firewood and a lot of wild animal meat, he became rich. He lived in a brick house and bought more than 10 acres of fertile land, which completely improved his family environment. People from all over the surrounding areas have heard of Qin Chongsheng. He wanted to marry his own daughter. But at this time, Chen's father and mother, who had become ill from overwork, died. This sudden incident struck Qin Chongsheng down, making him almost grieved.
Desperate and despairing.
All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 614. That night, Qin Chongsheng was in the morning hall. What happened? At this moment, Qin Chongsheng suddenly woke up. A gust of wind blew outside the morning hall, whistling, and two creatures with the heads and faces of bulls and horses suddenly appeared. They were full of gloom and were different from any creatures he had seen before. Only seeing these two weird creatures coming to the coffin of Father Qin and Mother Qin, they seemed to be holding an iron chain in their hands. With a slight hook, the souls of Father Qin and Mother Qin were suddenly drawn out. Father, Mother. Qin Chongsheng suddenly exclaimed. He had no idea that his father and mother, whom he thought was dead, would actually appear in front of him at this moment. However, the other party seemed to have lost his mind and just stood there blankly. What on earth do you two monsters want to do to my parents? Qin Chongsheng shouted angrily and stared at these two bull-headed and horse-faced men. Mortal, you can actually see us? The bull-headed horse-faced people were surprised. They didn't expect that Qin Chongsheng, a mortal, could actually see the existence of a hell jailer like himself. It was really unbelievable. Of course I can see it. You have the eyebrows and the eyes of a rat, but you can't see it.
Qin
Chongsheng stared at the bull-headed horse face. Why did you two kill my parents? What do you want to do to my parents? He was holding a black axe in his hand, and his body was filled with a terrible aura, as if the sky had been split open. With his anger, there were dark clouds covering tens of millions of kilometers, lightning and thunder, and it seemed that at this moment, the sky and the earth were all broken. But now they are so good-tempered, and there is still discussion, and even inform them to the King of Hell. Are these still those grumpy and ferocious jailers of hell? All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 618. Not long after, the demon pig warrior who had just gone in to report came back quickly. It looked at Qin Chongsheng with an even weirder expression and said, Ahem, I just informed the Lord of Hell, and the Lord of Hell already knows. This matter, I ask you to go inside now, and invite it inside. No way, Lord Yama really received them. The bull-headed horse-faced man was simply dumbfounded when he heard this. He was the famous King of Hell, the highest executive of the Hell world, with a high position and the master of countless dead people. Do you really want to meet them now? To be honest, their status in the Hell world is not very high. They are just small county officials at most. They can dominate the outside world, but they are nothing in Hell. Now the King of Hell actually wants to send them, just like the Emperor wants to receive a small county magistrate. I don't know how big an honor this is. It is like reaching the sky in one step. All of them were extremely excited, but they also knew that the reason why they were able to alarm the King of Hell was probably closely related to this weird human being, Qin Chongsheng. That's great. Lead the way. Qin Chongsheng was already a little numb. Not surprisingly, he said to the Hell jailer. With a click, The gate of Fengdu City opened, and immediately under the leadership of the jailer, they entered Fengdu City. This. As soon as Chen Chongsheng stepped into Fengdu City, he was immediately shocked because the scene inside Fengdu City and the scene outside were completely different. The world outside the city was extremely desolate, and the sky was full of yellow sand, volcanic eruptions, few human traces. The air is filled with the unpleasant smell of sulfur, and the temperature is extremely high. But inside Fengdu City, this is an extremely lively and prosperous capital. I saw countless dead people appearing here in the city. They are like ordinary residents in the human world, living in every corner of Fengdu City. Some of the dead are selling things on the streets, selling food, handicrafts, etc., and there are constant shouts, and the air is filled with there is a charming aroma of food. There are also hotels, restaurants, inns, pawn shops, casinos, and other places for entertainment and rest. The roads are also very spacious and seem to have been uniformly planned, horizontally and vertically, just like Xi'an in Furukawa's previous life. It's like a capital city. This is completely a world of the dead. How about it? Does it feel weird? The bull-headed horse face saw Chen Chongsheng's doubts. Yes. Doesn't it mean that after the dead enter hell, they will be reincarnated? Why are there so many dead from hell living in this Fengdu City? Chen Chongsheng asked curiously. Very normal. The bull-headed horse-faced man explained. After all the dead enter hell, they will be judged by the judges of hell and the king of hell. According to their different sins during their lifetime, they will be assigned to the 6 worlds. If the sinners are serious, they will be sent to the realm of evil ghosts, where they will be tortured until all the sins on their bodies are washed away before they can be reincarnated. There are also some deceased people who have gained a lot of merit and made outstanding contributions to people and the world. Such people will be reincarnated in the heavenly world, reincarnated in the world where immortals live, and they will be rich and powerful throughout their lives. At the same time, there are also some dead with outstanding combat capabilities who are unwilling to be reincarnated. After all, once reincarnated, all their memories will be erased, so they hope to retain their memories and strong combat capabilities so that they will be reincarnated in the Shura Dao. At this point, it paused and continued. Of course, except for these beings who are full of sins or have great merits. In fact, most of the dead have no merits or so-called karma. They are just ordinary people, living an ordinary life. Hearing this, Chen Chongsheng couldn't help but nodded. It was indeed the case. It was like his parents had stayed in Hedi village all their lives and never went out. They only knew how to plow the fields and cut grass to feed the cattle, and never had any grudges with others. As a result, they worked hard all their lives, were ordinary, got married and had children, and passed away without sorrow or joy. In fact, ordinary people like this account for the vast majority. Most of ordinary people like this can only be transferred to the human world and gain an ordinary background. Or, if they are unlucky, they will be reincarnated into the animal world and be ignorant beasts for the rest of their lives. The bull-headed horse-faced man continued. Many of the dead do not want to be reincarnated and do not want to lose their memories of their lives, so they would rather stay in Fengdu City. The king of hell is also tolerant. He understands the mentality of these dead people, so he allows them to postpone their reincarnation indefinitely. As long as their wishes are fulfilled and they no longer want to live in Fengdu City, they can be reincarnated at any time. But if you never want to be reincarnated, you can always stay in Fengdu City and keep your memories. Therefore, there are a large number of dead residents living in Fengdu City. It tells some secrets of hell. So that's it. If that's the case, then if these dead people don't want to be reincarnated, wouldn't they be able to live in Fengdu City forever? Achieve immortality. Chen Chongsheng couldn't help but ask. Haha, how can it be so simple? The bull-headed horse-faced man shook his head. These ordinary dead people don't have much strength, and they haven't embarked on the path of cultivation. It is very difficult for them to maintain the form of the dead. Once it cannot be maintained, the body will die and the Tao will disappear, and it will be completely integrated into the origin of hell. This is the true disappearance of smoke. Of course, it is easy to maintain the form of the dead, that is, get a large amount of incense power, and replenish the power of incense every few days, then they can live in Fengdu City forever. To put it simply, the power of incense is equivalent to food in the world. If people do not eat food, they will die, and ghosts will starve to death if they do not eat the power of incense. Of course, if a ghost is powerful enough to a certain extent, it can autonomously absorb the power of death between heaven and earth and replenish its own energy, but there are very few ghosts that can reach this level. Basically, they either went to the Shura path, the evil ghost path, or entered the heaven. What is the power of incense? How can I get it? Xianxia asked. It's very simple. That is the worship of future generations. The bull-headed horse-faced man said, if the deceased still has descendants, the more pious and more people worship each year, the more power of incense will be obtained. Of course, once the descendants die and the descendants can no longer remember the deceased, the power of the incense will become increasingly scarce until the deceased disappears completely. Basically, if future generations completely forget the dead person, then the dead person will completely disappear in hell. This is the so-called forgetting is death. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 619. Worship? The power of incense? No wonder later generations worship so many people. It turns out that it really benefits the ancestors in hell. Xianxia suddenly realized. Before, he thought that the annual activity of worshipping ancestors was of little significance. It was just about recalling the ancestors. But from this point of view, it has endless benefits for the dead ancestors. The power of incense is like money to the dead, or food, which is simply hard currency in hell, and an indispensable treasure. It can be said that the more power the incense has, the richer the ghosts in hell will be, and the more comfortable their lives will be. On the contrary, if those ancestors are forgotten, they can only choose to be reincarnated or die in hell. Moreover, in order to obtain a large amount of incense power, these ancestor ghosts will occasionally remind their descendants to dream at night, so as not to the family encountered a huge crisis. The ancestors protected their descendants, and the descendants supported their ancestors. The two actually complemented each other. At this time, he also thought a little bit more about the principles of reincarnation. Although the world of death is completely different from the world of death, to a certain extent, the connection between the two is still extremely close. This is the 6 paths of reincarnation, endless life and death. Is Fengdu City the only hell city like this? Xianxia couldn't help but ask. Of course, it's not just Fengdu City. There are actually hundreds of millions of hell cities similar to Fengdu City. The bull-headed horse-faced man explained. After all, hell accepts too many dead people every moment. This place not only accepts the dead from the prehistoric world, but also the dead from all the worlds will enter hell. In order to integrate the endless dead, countless cities were built in hell. To this day, countless cities have been born in hell, but even so, Fengdu City is still the first of many hell cities. I see. Hearing this, Xianxia couldn't help but nodded. He also knew a great secret. This world is not only the prehistoric world, not only the human world. In addition, there are countless. The vast world is like the number of sands in the Xianxia. For a person who is just born in a small village and has never left Hedi village, this is really a big shock, as if a mysterious gauze of the entire world has been unraveled. Okay, don't say so much. We don't have time to waste here. Let's go this way. The bull-headed horse-faced man led Xianxia forward without stopping at this place. They needed to go to the Hall of the King of Hell, which is the place of judgment for all the dead. Only after passing the judgment of the King of Hell can they be sent to other places. So the Hall of the King of Hell is also similar to organizations like the National Customs. It's really lively. Walking along the way, Xianxia also discovered the liveliness of this Fengdu city. It was simply bustling with traffic, ghosts coming and going, and various buildings emerging in endlessly. It was countless times more lively than any capital city in the human world. If the surroundings weren't as for ghosts, he thought he was still in the human world. But unfortunately, the hard currency here is incense. He does not have incense, the currency of the underworld, and cannot buy anything in this Fengdu city. Of course the place is full of belongings of the dead. Even if he buys them, he probably won't be able to use them. Not long after, under the leadership of the bull-headed horse-faced man, Xianxia finally arrived at the Palace of Hell after passing through countless streets and buildings. In front of the gate of the Hall of the King of Hell, there was a long queue. Countless ghosts were waiting for the trial of the King of Hell and the judge, and all of them were trembling with fear. After all, it was their first time to die, they had no experience at all, and they had no idea what was waiting for them. Many murderous jailers were standing by to maintain order. If any of the dead bullied others, tried to jump in line, or tried to cause trouble in this place, they would be severely punished. But with the guidance of the bull-headed horse-faced people, Xianxia naturally did not need to queue up and went directly to the back door to enter the Palace of Hell. Rumble. As soon as he entered the Palace of Hell, Xianxia immediately saw the dense crowds of Hell guards around him. All of them were extremely tall. They were all elite warriors of the Demon Pig clan, with unparalleled combat power. Obviously, the strength of these jailers is thousands of times stronger than the outside jailers. They are simply not on the same level. The jailers who can enter the Palace of Hell all have general-level strength. On the high platform in front, two big figures were sitting. A chaos demon god similar to the elite warriors of the Demon Pig clan. Its size is also incredibly huge, like a majestic mountain, and any life is extremely small in front of it. It is filled with tyrannical power of Vajra, as if sitting in it. It is a statue of cast gold, and no force can harm its body. Even a wisp of aura is enough to collapse the sky, and the entire Palace of Hell seems to be shrouded in its aura. This is the King of Hell and the Vajra Demon Pig, the demon god of chaos. The other chaos demon god, who is equal to the King of Hell, is no less impressive. He looks like a monkey, but he has 3 eyes. Each of the opponent's eyes contains immeasurable magical powers. Just by looking at him, he seems to be able to understand everything about himself. His past and present lives are all revealed. Amazing! Xianxia felt that he could not hide anything in front of the 3-eyed demon god. It seemed that all the secrets in his body had been seen through by the other party. At this moment, he compared the 3-headed demon dog with them and immediately found that the 3 were almost incomparable. They are both close to each other, and it is impossible to tell which one is more powerful. But perhaps it is because he is too weak that he cannot distinguish the strength of the 3. This is Lord Yama, and this is Lord Judge. The bull-headed horses immediately stepped forward and knelt on the ground with a bang. They were extremely respectful. After all, the 2 were the top executives of Hell and their immediate bosses. How could they dare to be so arrogant? They were afraid that Xianxia would be disrespectful to them, so after kneeling down, they immediately introduced the 2 top leaders of Hell to Xianxia. One is responsible for judging sins, and the other is responsible for allocating the 6 reincarnations, each performing their own duties. This also allows this rude human being to know the greatness and terror of these 2 great figures. Department, that is absolutely not to be offended. Hello, King of Hell, hello Judge, my name is Xianxia. After hearing this, Xianxia held up his hands and said to the 2 chaos demon gods. He showed an attitude of not saying anything or being humble. What? What the hell are you talking about? Seeing this, the bull-headed horse-faced face turned green with fright. Crazy, this kid is crazy. He thinks he is something. When he sees the 2 great chaos demon gods, the 2 supreme masters of Hell, he doesn't kneel down to pay homage. But this kid is good. He actually bows his hands and salutes, as if it was like meeting an old friend, and he completely regarded himself as being on the same level as Lord Yama and Lord Judge, and on the same level. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 620. Presumptuous. Really too presumptuous. If such behavior offends the king of hell and the judge, he may be sent to the 18th level of hell. To be honest, the distribution of the 6 paths of reincarnation is basically determined by karma and merit, but in certain circumstances, the actual distribution depends on the judgment of the king of hell and the judge. If I offend the king of hell and the judge, I am afraid that I will be wearing small shoes and die without knowing how I died. Now they simply wanted to rush forward, push Qin Chongsheng to the ground, and let Qin Chongsheng salute the 2 chaos demon gods. I'm sorry, Lord Yama. The cow-headed horse-faced man kowtowed in a panic and said, "This mortal does not know etiquette. He comes from the countryside and does not know the reputation of Lord Yama, so he is so rude. I hope Lord Yama will forgive me and don't blame this mortal." They apologized quickly, and even the king of hell became angry, thus causing a huge disaster. Mortal Qin Chongsheng, why did you go to hell to find me? The king of hell was condescending. He didn't pay attention to the words of the bull-headed horse-faced man, but looked at Qin Chongsheng indifferently. Yama. Hearing this, Qin Chongsheng raised his head and looked at the king of hell in front of him. My parents are ordinary honest farmers in the countryside. They have worked hard all their lives and have never done anything harmful to nature. In order to raise me, they have worked hard all their lives. But they passed away in their prime of life and had no grandchildren. It was really unfair, so I begged the king of hell to give my parents a chance to start a new life. He looked at the king of hell seriously, wanting to resurrect his parents. Damn it, this kid really dares to say that. 2 men with a bull's head and a horse's face were kneeling on the ground, so frightened that they didn't dare to breathe. They were trembling all over. 6 paths of reincarnation, life and death. No, life is determined by fate. This is an eternal law. No one knows how many epochs and years it has been since the 6 paths of reincarnation appeared. They have never seen anyone dare to make such a request to the king of hell. If everyone is in this mortal world, if he is resurrected in time, then where will the laws of the 6 paths of reincarnation be? If everyone does this, the 6 common senses will collapse, which will definitely lead to chaos in the world, and the collapse of ethics. It is conceivable that as an upright and selfless judge, and the king of hell, how angry he will be when he hears such an unreasonable request. Maybe this kid will be thrown to the 18th level of hell and will never be reincarnated. The jailers in hell spread this saying, "You want to run away after offending the king of hell." You can imagine that the king of hell has a terrible temper. He is definitely moody. No one knows which words he says may offend the Lord of Hell. There have been many unruly people in the past. The deceased, relying on the fact that he was a prince, general, or a descendant of the chaos demon god, tried to be disrespectful to the Lord of Hell and made arrogant remarks, which was extremely arrogant and arrogant. However, with a stroke of his pen, the Lord of Hell immediately eliminated these unruly people. The dead were thrown into the 19th level of hell and suffered eternal torture, worse than death. Some were even thrown into the animal realm and reincarnated into animals. They were unable to open their spiritual wisdom in their entire lives and spent life after life in a state of confusion. It's extremely miserable. They are trembling at the moment and don't dare to say anything, lest the king of hell and the judge get angry and implicate them and send them to the evil ghost realm. It will be so miserable. I see. Hearing this, the king of hell nodded with an expressionless expression. What you said is not unreasonable. He died suddenly when he was in his prime and could not enjoy the happiness of his children and grandchildren. It is indeed unfair. It's not impossible to resurrect your parents.
What?
Hearing this, the Minotaur and horsemen couldn't help but raise their heads and stared at the Hell King in front of them with their mouths open. They all thought that their ears had heard wrong and that they had some hallucinations. No, this situation doesn't seem to be right. Where has the upright king of hell gone? He actually agreed to such an unreasonable request. Judge, what do you think of this matter? The king of hell turned around and looked at the expressionless judge of hell next to him. Well, Although the resurrection of the dead goes against the common sense of reincarnation in the six realms, given that this person has filial piety and respects heaven, earth, ghosts, and gods, I was deeply moved, and resurrecting his parents is not a problem. The judge from hell said expressionlessly.
What?
Hearing these words, the bull-headed horse-faced man was so angry that he vomited blood. Damn, what are you talking about? Is this what a selfless judge should say? He actually has the nerve to say it. You say this shamelessly. To be honest, there are so many dead people in hell. I don't know how many joys and sorrows they have experienced, and how many filial sons have appeared. But these dead people kneel down and kowtow, cry bitterly, or even self-mutilate. The judge was not moved at all. On the contrary, such hypocritical behavior made the judge of hell disgusted and punished even more severely. After all, the judge of hell has lived for endless years. From the era of chaos to today, he has seen so many separations between life and death, and how many heartbreaks he has seen. My heart has long been as hard as iron, and my Taoist heart has gone through countless hardships. This is the selfless judge of hell, with a head of iron, and he never knows how to violate his principles. But now look at the face of this iron-faced judge. Why is he like this? Like corrupt officials. There is no doubt that this bullshit principle has been thrown away by the judge a long time ago. Moreover, he shamelessly said that Xianxia has filial piety and respects the ghosts and gods of heaven and earth. Bah! It's a shame that the judge of hell has the nerve to say it. Such words are shameless. They are simply telling lies with open eyes. They are extremely shameless. If the judge decides that the deceased in the evil ghost realm and the animal realm will see the situation, I am afraid that all of them will be angry. Vomiting blood, the iron-faced judge was not so easy to talk to them at the beginning. Although this boy is indeed filial, otherwise he would not risk his life and follow them to hell, but is it really so touching that all the ghosts and gods in heaven and earth are moved? It's worthy of discussion. There must be someone behind this kid. And he is also a big shot like that. The bull-headed horse face is yelling in his heart at this moment. To be honest, they are not fools. They are all here at this level. We still don't know that there must be a big shot behind this seemingly mortal Xianxia, a reincarnation of an earth-shattering power. Otherwise, how can the king of hell and the judge give them face and open their eyes? The problem is, what kind of person is this big shot who can make both the king of hell and the judge give face? To be honest, just thinking about this problem makes them so frightened that their livers and gallbladders split and they tremble endlessly. They don't even dare to think about it. Even if such a thing happens, ideas must be suppressed quickly, lest they trigger unimaginable taboos. Then they will die without knowing how. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 621. Thank you, King of Hell. Thank you, Judge. My gratitude cannot be described in words. If you need me in the future, just send me. Before, I thought you, King of Hell, were all selfless and merciless gods, but I didn't expect you to be so reasonable. Xianxia was overjoyed. He had never expected that things would go so smoothly. According to legend, the upright, selfless, and moody king of hell and the judge would actually become so amiable, as if he were old friends for many years. Originally, he was still planning to do this if the king of hell refused. What should he do? After all, he is just a mortal with no magic power, so how can he possibly win over the Lord of Hell, the Lord of Hell? If the other party is unwilling to violate the rules of hell for himself, that is normal. After all, this is the law of reincarnation and the movement of heaven. Wherever he can change it, this is not a joke. But now it seems that the king of hell is still easy to talk to. He just said one sentence without any conditions, and the other party actually agreeing to his conditions. Reasonable? Hearing this, the bull-headed horse-faced man looked at Xianxia speechlessly and cursed in his heart. This is how the real Hell King and Judge of Hell are. They are selfless, follow the rules, and never go beyond them. It's not easy to come here. They are only so amiable to you, but they have never been nice to other people. To be honest, they have never seen the King of Hell when he is reasonable, and they have only seen it once today. It's an unprecedented thing. It's really unbelievable. Oh. Hearing Chen Chongqing's words, the eyes of the King of Hell and the judge suddenly changed. They looked at each other and coughed. Really or not, can I really ask you for help with anything in the future? We didn't force you. Of course, I, Chen Chongqing, am naturally obliged to do so. Chen Chongqing held up his hands and said seriously. However, he felt that he was just a mortal. As the King of Hell and the judge, he was the biggest big shot. If there was anything he needed help for, he probably said these words just to let others know. Just feel relieved. Yes, we allow your matter. Anyway, after you return to the human world, your parents will be resurrected and live a long life without any disease or disaster. The King of Hell coughed and immediately made a decision. Mortals in hell can't stay too long. You'd better leave quickly to avoid hurting your roots. Bullhead and Horseface, you two are responsible for taking this Chen Chongqing out of hell, and there must be no mistakes. The judge waved his hand. Yes. The bull-headed and horse-faced bullies immediately took the order and did not dare to talk nonsense. They quickly took Chen Chongqing out of the Palace of Hell. After Chen Chongqing left, the King of Hell and the judge, no, it should be the Vajra demon pig and the three-eyed demon monkey, looked at each other and immediately laughed, feeling very happy inside. Whoosh! At this time, a black cat appeared in the darkness, appearing silently on the table of King of Hell, lying here lazily, saying, "You two guys are really unscrupulous. Knowing clearly that that is Pangu, your reincarnation, actually dares to scheme like this and make him owe you a favor. Aren't you afraid that he'll come to settle the score with you after he awakens his memory? Well, you can't blame us for that. He came to him personally, not us." The King Kong demon pig spread his hands. Even so, we were just pushing along and we didn't force him. He took the initiative to owe us a favor. Even if he awakens his memory, he can't cause trouble for us. The three-eyed demon monkey said loudly, indicating that it was not their fault at all. Hee. The dark cat looked at the King Kong demon pig and the three-eyed demon monkey with disdain. It didn't know the inner thoughts of these two guys. It clearly wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to gain Panga's favor and gain benefits. After all, this kind of opportunity, except this time, I'm afraid there will never be any more. Once Panga's memory awakens, there will be nothing to do with them. You must know that Pangu is one of the most powerful chaos demon gods in the Chaos Era, second only to the City Lord, and has already stepped into the Chaos Era. In the realm of the God Emperor, the strength is terrifying and boundless. If it were not for the purpose of healing injuries and missing the development of the times, I don't know how much the strength can be improved. Let's not talk about Panga's strength and potential. Just the relationship between Pangu and Pangu. He is the Deputy City Lord of Chaos City and the founder of the Great Axe Arena. This level of status is boundless. Especially his close relationship with the City Lord makes countless chaos demon gods envy him. You can imagine, however, if you get the favor of such a big man, it is more valuable than getting a chaos magic weapon. It is just a trivial matter to resurrect two mortals, but it can be exchanged for Panga's favor. Such a deal is really too great. What a deal! No one would believe it if I told you. But the Lord of the City is really kind to Brother Pangu. I just took a look at his reincarnation and found that he has two extremely powerful accompanying magic weapons. The three-eyed demon monkey said in a deep voice. Panga's companion magic weapon? Didn't it mean that when he opened the sky, the accompanying magic weapons Chaos Green Lotus, the God's Axe, the Earth-opening chisel, and other chaotic treasures on his body were all shattered and turned into innate treasures, scattered all over the world? The dark cat said solemnly. That's true, but obviously the City Lord personally forged two magic weapons for Brother Panga's reincarnation and integrated them into his true spirit. The three-eyed magic monkey said, "These two magic weapons for protecting the Tao are not simple. Even my eyes can't see through the reality in them. They have endless potential. It is very emotional. Can't even see through your eyes? Could it be that it is the treasure of chaos? The King Kong demon pig couldn't help but ask. Not only that, in my opinion, its potential may exceed the chaos treasure, especially the black giant axe, which seems to be more terrifying to me than the original Kaition divine axe. The three-eyed monkey shook his head. A magic weapon more powerful than the chaos arcana? What kind of treasure is this? The Vajra demon pig couldn't help but exclaimed. The chaos treasure alone is already a magic weapon that countless chaos demon gods are crazy about, but it's really unbelievable that there is a magic weapon on top of the chaos treasure. To be honest, even I can't bear it, I couldn't help but feel jealous of Panga's fortune. This is probably the city lord's compensation. After all, Brother Pangu was seriously injured in order to open the sky and resist the doomsday. This is also his merit, and it is understandable. The dark cat said lazily. In short, this matter is interesting. I wonder what will happen after Brother Pangu awakens his memory? The group of god emperors in the giant axe arena will probably be very anxious. I really look forward to it. The King Kong demon pig smiled slightly. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 622. The Prehistoric World. The Human World. At this time, Xianxia had returned from hell to the human world. Although it seemed that a long time had passed in hell, due to the speed of time, not even an hour had passed in the human world. After returning home, he was immediately overjoyed. His father and mother Chen, who were originally dead, were really resurrected at this moment, and their bodies were stronger than ever. His body, which had been scarred by overwork due to farm work, was now back to its original state, showing no signs of decay. The King of Hell is indeed a man who keeps his promises. Xianxia was very grateful. Early the next morning, the news of the resurrection of Chen's father and mother also shocked Hedi village. They did not expect that someone could really come back from the dead, which made countless people marvel. But after all, this is just a small town. It was only spread in a few surrounding villages and was not known to people in other places. Even if people in other places knew about it, they would think it was a rumor. It was just a rumor spread by rural people. In fact, such rumors it is so common in all major villages that it is not surprising. Xianxia did not take this incident seriously. He just regarded this experience as an adventure. He still went up the mountain to cut firewood, go home to plow the fields and feed cows, etc., lived a busy and fulfilling farm life. But at this time, earth-shattering events happened in the world of 6 realms. At this moment, in the heaven, many quasi-sages and saints sensed the huge differences facing the world of 6 realms at this moment. Change. Oops, there's something wrong with the animal world. A saint sensed that there have been huge changes in the animal world among the 6 realms. In fact, the animal realm is the lowest among the 6 realms because its time flow is too slow, even slower than the human world. This as a result, the animal world has become the least popular world for all living beings to reincarnate in. But even so, this does not mean that the animal world is the weakest. In fact, on the contrary, the animal world is by far the world with the strongest foundation among the 6 worlds. This is because many desolate beasts born in the prehistoric world have entered the animal world, and these desolate beasts are quite terrifying creatures. They were born from the Chaos Demon God in the Chaos Era and the power of the killing Doomsday. This resulted in these desolate beasts are extremely powerful, and the blood in their bodies is even more terrifying than that of ordinary Chaos Demon Gods. They are almost invincible at the same level. The most important thing is that the reproductive power of these desolate beasts is also very strong, and they usually have 1 litter in their lifetime. Especially the number of some locust and ant-type wild beasts is measured in trillions, which also results in the number of lives in the animal world being the highest among the 6 realms. Fortunately, these wild beasts do not have any intelligence and can only act based on instinct. Therefore, the creatures in the prehistoric world can still barely suppress these powerful wild beasts. But at this time, the situation in the animal world seems to have changed. Wisdom was born from those kings of wild beasts. Therefore, it is endless the desolate beasts have almost flooded the human world. Even the highest strength of the desolate beasts cannot exceed that of human immortals, but compared to the number, it is not comparable to other races. With their absolute advantage, they do not need to use any tactics at all. Just relying on quantity can overwhelm everything. Thousands of years ago, countless races did not know this and paid a heavy price. It even became the history of the human world and never appeared again. Yes, fortunately we have the protection of the immortal emperor. Otherwise, how could we resist these wild beasts with our strength alone? An elder of the witch clan couldn't help but nod. Although he was born in the witch clan and had strong blood, he originally looked down on weak races like the human race and thought they were vulnerable. But this Emperor of Immortality is different. He is a monster, is beyond race, is an existence beyond the standards. It's just that he is invincible at the same level, but he can actually challenge beyond the level and has endless physical strength. No matter how powerful the wild beast is, it can't withstand the axe of the immortal emperor. Even the rebellious Wu clan had to surrender to the force of the Xianxia emperor and had to be convinced. Fortunately, Emperor Xianxia came to our rescue. He traveled hundreds of millions of kilometers with one man and one axe, killing tens of millions of wild beasts. Otherwise, our Qilin clan would have been doomed, and I don't know how many clan members were killed or injured. An elder of the Qilin tribe said with emotion. He still remembers that hundreds of years ago, the Qilin tribe was besieged by countless desolate beasts and was in danger. Soon the tribe's headquarters was attacked by the desolate beasts. Fortunately, the Xianxia emperor appeared in time and slaughtered them with one man and one axe. Thousands of wild beasts. Only then did the Qilin tribe be saved from the crisis of genocide. The scene of that year was still fresh in his memory. At the same time, he admired the Xianxia emperor, was extremely awed, and was sincerely convinced. Even if it was one of the 5 prehistoric tribes back then. But in the face of this unreasonable force, it is impossible to compete. But now, can't you still contact those ancestors in heaven? An elder of the White Tiger clan asked in a deep voice. In fact, we have already made contact. In recent years, some members of the clan have ascended to the heavenly realm and brought news about the human world with them. I hope that the ancestors of the clan can bring help to the human world. An elder of the Xuanwu tribe said, but we are disappointed because the largest main force in the animal world is not in the human world, but concentrated in the heavenly world. Our human world is just a small battlefield, and some wild beasts have been dispatched. They are just animal cannon fodder, nothing compared to the animal world. Because of this, the king of wild beasts in the animal realm and many saints in the heaven realm had a fierce battle. It has been fighting for 100,000 years, but there is still no winner yet, and the war is in an anxious state. Therefore, many immortals in the heaven have too much time to take care of themselves. Once the war fails, they will all be extinct in the heaven, so it is impossible for them to take care of our human world. It tells the truth about part of the heaven. At this time, the heaven is still in a war with the animal world. This war has been going on for 100,000 years and has not ended yet. Yes, compared with the heavenly world, our human world is actually pretty good. We can at least build cities to keep these wild beasts out of the city and give them a chance to breathe. An elder of the Xuanwu clan nodded. Although there is no way to drive all these wild beasts back to the animal world, at least we are not living a life worse than death. It is said that the immortals in the heaven are more miserable than us at the moment. They are almost retreating steadily and are hunted down by many powerful wild beasts. No one knows how many have died over the years. Those ancestors who had ascended to the heaven before were now so regretful that their intestines were green. If they had known that they would encounter such a thing, they should have delayed their ascension and waited until the war was over before ascending. But now it is too late to say anything. Once you reach the heavenly realm, you basically cannot return to the human realm. Many race elders couldn't help but nodded. The more they knew about the heavenly world, the more they became frightened. Fortunately, they stayed in the human world. If they had stayed in the heavenly world, they would have died more miserably. After all, according to their rules with strength, if it were in the heaven, it would be nothing more than cannon fodder. Even a quasi-sage would not be able to guarantee his own safety. Saints would be considered the main force in the battle. But I heard that there is a rumor about the Emperor Xianxia, saying that the Emperor will ascend to heaven soon. I wonder if this is true. A wolf clan elder asked in a low voice. No way. Is it true or not? The Immortal Emperor is going to ascend? If this is true, what should we do in Axe City? What should the alliance of 10,000 races do? Many elders were shocked, because the reason why the alliance of 10,000 races was established was because of Xianxia's invincible force to suppress all dissatisfaction. His majesty has been overwhelming for eternity, and no one is dissatisfied. But once the Xianxia Emperor ascends to the heaven, there will be no one left. If anyone can subdue all races, wouldn't the entire alliance fall apart? The most important thing is that although they and the wild beasts have reached a balance now, no one can do anything to anyone, but once the Immortal Emperor ascends, wouldn't it destroy this alliance? Balance. Who else can stop the flood of wild beasts at that time? Suddenly, these elders became a little panicked. I guess this is not a rumor. In fact, 900 years ago, the Xianxia Emperor had already reached the standard for ascending to heaven. If it were not for protecting us, he would have ascended to heaven long ago. An elder said solemnly, 900 years have passed now. Even if the Immortal Emperor continues to suppress his own power, I'm afraid he can no longer suppress it. What should we do if the Immortal Emperor really ascends? Many elders were silent. They had to consider what would happen to the human world without the Emperor Xianxia. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 627. Giant Axe City in the Royal Palace. Although 1,000 years have passed, Xianxia is still the same as before, wearing linen and looking like a woodcutter. In fact, he was called the Immortal Emperor by the world, but in his heart he was still the same. He was just a woodcutter in the mountains, not the Immortal Emperor respected by the world at all. The reason why he saved the world was because of the situation. He originally just wanted to protect Hedi Village, but unexpectedly more and more people gathered, and later it became Hedi City. After seeing this, countless races came to seek refuge, and finally it became the Giant Axe City. He also unconsciously became the co-owner of all races, and became the world-famous Immortal Emperor. This is also the first human emperor who is truly respected by all races since the birth of the human world. At this moment, the supreme elders from all races gathered in the backyard of the palace. They are all the heads of each race and members of the Great Axe City, supreme beings who exert their authority. Except for Xianxia, they're the ones in power. Great Emperor, are you really going to ascend? Every race elder looked at Xianxia with extremely solemn expressions. They knew that Xianxia would soon ascend from the human world and would never stay in the human world again. That's right, I have suppressed my cultivation for 900 years, and now I can't suppress it anymore. Even if I don't want to leave, I'm afraid I can't help it. Xianxia stood with his hands behind his hands. In fact, he wanted to fly to the heavens for more than just that. That was because his parents also passed away 200 years ago. Father Chen and Mother Chen were mortals and lived for 800 years, which is considered a long life. Although he had many means to help his parents extend their lifespan, Chen's father and Chen's mother refused. They are just mortals in the countryside. They have lived for 800 years and are already extremely long-lived. I don't know how much better than ordinary people. They don't want to live forever. So he died and fell into the cycle of life and death. His parents passed away, his cultivation was perfect, and the overall situation was stable. There was no reason for him to continue to stay in the human world. Great Emperor, what will our Giant Axe City do without you? Yes, without your suppression and deterrence, the Great Emperor, those wild beasts will definitely make trouble again. After finally achieving peace for 100 years, if the great emperor ascends, he will definitely cause trouble again. Many elders said nervously. The reason why all races can coexist peacefully with the desolate beasts now is not because the conscience of the desolate beasts discovered it, but because of the intimidation of the immortal emperor, who killed so many people that the desolate beast clan was frightened. Once when Xianxia ascends to heaven, the group of wild beasts will naturally think they have an opportunity. When the time comes to attack Giant Axe City again, it is hard to say whether they can withstand it. It doesn't matter. I have also killed all the wild beast leaders in the human world. Even if there are few left, it will be useless. With the Giant Axe City, as long as you work together and defend the city, it will definitely not be a problem. Xianxia shook his head. Moreover, there have been talented people from generation to generation, and each has led the way for hundreds of years. Don't think too highly of me, Xianxia. After all, I am just a woodcutter in the mountains. Many ethnic elders twitched their mouths. A woodcutter in the mountain? Who dares to say that the famous and intimidating Emperor of Eternity, the leader of all races, is a woodcutter in the mountain? If those wild beasts who were hacked to death by Xianxia's axe heard these words, may make everyone come back to life with anger. So far, they have been shocked by Xianxia's force. No matter how powerful the opponent is, they can't match Xianxia's axe. There has never been anyone who can stop Xianxia's first attack. 2 axes. Such a human emperor, if it were not blocked by the beast tide, he would have ascended to heaven long ago. It took 900 years to ascend at this moment, which is already very late. Okay, the rest of the affairs of the human world will be left to you. I feel that my time has come. Xianxia raised his head and suddenly released his own aura. A vast and long-lasting aura covering hundreds of millions of kilometers instantly covered the entire Giant Axe City. But this aura is not the kind that is overbearing and dominates the world. It is the kind of aura that is all-encompassing, inclusive of everything, and holds all things in mind, just like the universe is contained in the chest. All lives are convinced under such a breath, as if they have met their ancestors. It is precisely because of this kind of mind, this kind of breath, only then can he become the co-owner of all races and the true emperor of the world.
Boom.
At this moment, the heaven and earth shook, and a huge light pillar suddenly appeared in the sky, falling directly down and shining on Xianxia. Suddenly, billions of people in the kilometer-long void, there were waves of immortal conchs, Buddha chanting sutras, golden lotuses emerging from the earth, goddesses scattering flowers and other heaven and earth phenomena, which spread to countless kilometers. Xianxia's body seemed to have escaped the gravity of the earth and was guided by this path. The light swallowed it in. In full view of everyone, Xianxia disappeared in front of everyone and flew directly into the heaven. Really ascended? There was no hesitation at all. As expected of the immortal emperor, he regards fame, fortune, and wealth as rubbish. He doesn't despise the name of the great emperor at all. His eternal inheritance is thrown away at the drop of a hat. Only in this way can one become an unprecedented immortal emperor and be respected by all races. Who is the peak at the end of the immortal road? When I see the path of immortality, there is no doubt that Emperor Xianxia is the only peerless, powerful person I have ever seen in my life. Even if he ascends to heaven, he will definitely be an immortal who can shock the world. If you want to see the immortal emperor next, I'm afraid you have to enter the heaven. Without the immortal emperor, what should our Giant Axe City do next? Who will be the next human emperor of Axe City? If you can't elect, then don't elect. If there is no candidate recognized by all races, then it will be vacant. The elders of all our races will serve as counselors, and then we will jointly decide on the affairs of Giant Axe City. That's the only way. Anyway, when Emperor Xianxia was here, Emperor Xianxia never made any decisions. He left them all to us. This is how we operate, and it should be the same now. But the immortal emperor has ascended, and those wild beasts may come to attack our Giant Axe City. Then let them come. We are no longer the waste we were 1,000 years ago. We have built cities and formations one after another, enough to bury all these wild beasts on the earth. Indeed, after so many years, we have not been in vain. We can guard Giant Axe City without the Immortal Emperor. However, it is said that the heaven is more dangerous. That is the real main force in the animal world. The saints are the main force. The quasi-sage may not be able to save his own life. The Immortal Emperor should not be in trouble. Don't worry, the Immortal Emperor is unparalleled in battle and is not the kind of little guy who will die casually in the heavens. From now on, it's all up to us. Many race elders are talking about it. Next, the human world will also welcome the existence of no human emperor, and they must adapt to this. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 628. Is this heaven? Not long after, Xianxia felt his body flash. Guided by the light of guidance, he passed through countless void barriers and immediately arrived in another world. Immediately, he sensed the world of this world. The spiritual energy is hundreds of millions of times more dense than the human world. Not only is the quantity incomparable, but the quality is also completely inferior. In comparison, the human world is simply inferior to the countryside. And not only is the spiritual energy not as rich as the same, even the speed of time is different. It is obvious that the speed of time in the heaven is much faster than that in the human world. It is not on the same level at all. 1 day in the world is 1 year in the sky. This is no joke. If you are a mortal who does not live long enough, you will soon die of old age in the heavens and die of old age. But as the rumors say, the heaven doesn't look peaceful either. Xianxia frowned. He sensed that although the environment in heaven was superior, it was obviously not peaceful. The place where he ascended was full of traces of destruction. It is estimated that an amazing battle took place here. It was also chaotic and bloody. There are dozens of places where his spiritual consciousness scanned the breath. Obviously, the wild beasts invaded not only the human world, but also the heavenly world. Even the immortals in the heavenly world are struggling to support it. Until now, the disaster of wild beasts invading heaven has not been solved. Wait, boy over there, stop right there. At this moment, dozens of immortals appeared in the distance. When they saw Xianxia, their eyes suddenly lit up, and they immediately rushed over and surrounded Xianxia. They all had at least the level of immortals. The powerful one has the cultivation level of the earth immortal, but does not have the cultivation level of the heavenly immortal. After all, he has reached the heavenly immortal realm, so he can be regarded as a small boss. I don't know who you are? Xianxia stopped and looked at these immortals in confusion. We are believers in hunting demons. Judging from your appearance, you should be an immortal who has just ascended from the human world. A leader of the immortals stared at Xianxia. That's right. Xianxia nodded and answered honestly. That's good. Join our hunting sect of demon gods. Our hunting sect can protect your safety in the heaven. Otherwise, according to the strength you just ascended to the heaven, I'm afraid you'll be killed by the wild beasts in the heaven in a short time.
D.
The leader of the immortals yelled, wanting to recruit Xianxia. In fact, since the wild beasts invaded the heaven, similar sects have emerged endlessly. After all, the disaster has come, and the big forces and sects in the heaven have no time to take care of themselves, so they can only fighting desperately to resist the attack of wild beasts. At this time, various sects emerged endlessly, a mixture of fish and dragons. Those chaos demon gods from outside the territory also took the opportunity to enter the heaven to preach, hoping to occupy a place in the heaven, plundering believers and increasing the power of faith. This is also the practice method of the chaos demon gods. However, it is precisely because there are too many sects and there are too many monks and too few meats. The immortals who have just ascended are immediately targeted by these religions, and they force them to join their sect as if they are trying to pull their heads. Among them, if you don't agree, you will often be beaten to the point of paralysis or even put under house arrest in severe cases until you agree. Therefore, many immortals who have just ascended have been captured by these sects and dragged away young men before they understand the heavenly world. It can be said that the current heaven is simply a mixed bag of fish and dragons, with various forces mixed in, making it very complicated and chaotic. The cult of hunting? I didn't expect that I, a newcomer who has just ascended to the heaven, can actually join the sect of the heaven. What an honor it is. I was worried about having no place to stay just now. Thank you for your help. It seems that the immortals in the heaven are quite kind and friendly, and, according to the rumors, completely different. Xianxia said with emotion. What? After hearing this, the corners of the mouths of these immortals twitched. To be honest, they were already prepared for each other to fall out. After all, this was forced recruitment, forcing the other party to believe in hunting the demon god. This is not good for the immortals. It was simply a huge shame. I don't know how many immortals tried to resist, but this kid was lucky. Not only did he not resist, but he was ecstatic, as if he had finally found the organization. They were holding back their breath and wanted to give it to them. This kid taught him a lesson to let the other party know the cruelty of heaven, but he didn't expect that now they would hit the air with one punch. It was so powerful that he couldn't breathe out.
He didn't know what to say.
Ahem, since Brother Chun is willing to join, that's fine. We will all be brothers and sisters in the future. Not to mention, this place is very dangerous and wild beasts are rampant. Let's return to the headquarters of the hunting god cult as soon as possible. The leader of the immortals coughed. Although I don't know if there is something wrong with this kid's head, but it counts as a strong man. In the current situation in the heaven, it is not that easy to find a new force. Whoosh whoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, this group of immortals immediately led Xianxia, turning east and west through forests, and then came to a valley. This is the headquarters of the hunting god cult. And in this headquarters, there are more than 1 million people living there. The immortals in the valley are extremely lively, like a city. At the same time, all of these immortals are devout believers, surrounded by strong power of faith and extremely fanatical. In the center of the valley, there is also a huge sculpture standing impressively that is countless believers knelt down and worshiped the sculpture of the demon god of hunting, contributing their faith and piety. The entire sculpture was filled with strong power of faith, and the power of incense seemed to be transformed into a weapon of faith, vaguely like the true meaning of the demon god of hunting. It's like appearing in this place, filled with wisps of demonic power. Brother Chin, this is the headquarters of our hunting god cult. You first move towards our god cult, kneel down and show your piety, and you will be considered as joining our hunting god cult. The leader of the immortals said to Xianxia, saying that this is the initiation ceremony of the hunting god cult. Once you kneel down and worship this huge rock sculpture, you will have completely entered the door of the hunting god cult and will be engraved into the believer's seed and will never be able to do it again.
Betray.
Bow down. Hearing this, Xianxia hesitated for a moment, obviously a little embarrassed. Brother Chin, what do you mean by this? It's not because you don't want to kneel down. You agreed so simply just now, and you are here. We will not allow you to back down. Many immortals looked at Xianxia very ferociously, saying that Xianxia must do this even if he doesn't want to do it. This is an important ritual for becoming a follower of the hunting demon god, and no one can be exempted from it. No, that's not what I mean, but I cannot kneel down casually. Once I kneel down, the person whom I kneel down to will be extremely unlucky at best, or, at worst, die from the decline of gods and humans. So far, they have been worshipped by me. Basically, there is no good ending for these people. Xianxia explained. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 629. Hearing this, the surrounding immortals suddenly laughed, laughing very loudly. Blow, keep blowing to me. Who do you think you are? No one can bear your worship. No one can brag like you. That's right. Our God is the chaos demon god, the supreme being between heaven and earth, extremely noble. How could he not be able to withstand your worship? You're right, if you don't want to worship, don't want to worship. Don't harp here and make excuses. Maybe you are a big shot in the human world, but in the heavenly world you are just rubbish. Do you know that you are rubbish? Stop chirping here and kneel down to our gods quickly to show your piety, otherwise you won't be able to eat and walk around today. You don't want to kneel down, but you have to kneel down, you know? A group of immortals stared at Chen Chongsheng with murderous intent. Obviously, if Chen Chongsheng didn't want to kneel down and worship, then they would have to use force. Of course, the scene would not be very good. Okay, this is what you said. I didn't force you. Hearing this, Chen Chongsheng shook his head. Since this is a matter of doing as the Romans do, he could only do it. He just hoped that the chaos demon god could withstand his worship. Thinking of this, he came to the huge hunting demon god in front of the sculpture.
Boom.
Just when Chen Chongsheng stood in front of the sculpture, time and space with a radius of hundreds of millions of kilometers seemed to have stopped at this moment, and the world seemed to feel a strong pressure. With this valley as the center, endless the clouds gathered together, as if forming a huge chaotic vortex, and the infinite spiritual energy of heaven and earth surged towards this place. The purple thunder above the 9 heavens was vibrating and roaring, as if the heaven and earth were angry and roaring. Chief, what's going on? The world seems to have changed. I don't know what happened. At this moment, waves of uneasiness welled up deep in the hearts of these immortals. At this time, they finally felt a wave of something bad, as if they were being targeted by the malice between heaven and earth. At this moment, they seem to have become the most powerful people in the world. Unpopular people are spurned and disgusted by the origin of heaven and earth. The immortals were trembling, feeling great pressure. I saw Chen Chongsheng standing in front of the sculpture, just arching his hands. Dong dong dong. In an instant, billions of purple thunders roared over the valley, seeming to split the void. The space in all directions was cracked at this moment, and a large number of time and space cracks appeared. It seemed that the heaven and earth were furious at this moment, and the wind was howling. Damn it! This is the divine thunder of the void. This is the divine thunder of the void, which God is overcoming the tribulation. Seeing countless divine thunders appearing in the sky, the faces of a group of immortals turned green. They were trembling with fear and almost paralyzed on the ground. They are just the most ordinary immortals in the heaven. Even Daluo Jingxian has never seen them. I have seen this legendary void divine thunder several times. Legend has it that even if a saint is hit by such a void divine thunder, he will be seriously injured. But now there are billions of void divine thunder flying wildly in the sky. Wu seems to be chopped down at any time. If it is really chopped down, there is no doubt that they will all die, and all of them will be wiped out. Leader, this kid couldn't have done this, right? A leader of the immortals swallowed a mouthful of saliva and shouted in panic. Impossible. How could a mere immortal who ascended from the human world create such a big movement? And this is not even kneeling down, just handing over. Dao Tianzuan, Yuanshi Tianzuan, Lingbao Tianzuan, Taoist Jane, Taoist Junti, etc. have all reached the peak of the God King realm and are only one step away from entering the God Emperor realm. The first is Lingbao Tianzuan, who masters the killing immortal sword formation and is unparalleled in killing. With just one peerless sword formation, he can compete with thousands of beast kings at the level of God Kings, which can be said to be invincible at the same level. With one sword, he can cut through the sky and tear apart the avenues of heaven and earth. Yuanshi Tianzuan is also very terrifying. He is proficient in countless methods and magical powers and can copy all the enemy's skills in an instant and even integrate them. He arranges formations one after another, mobilizes the power of heaven and earth and the laws of the Great Road so that the original power can be used for himself, can easily trap tens of thousands of beast kings to death. The Guide Taoist and Zhuani Taoist are also very terrifying. With hundreds of millions of arhats and millions of Buddhas, They condense the pure land of Buddhism and save everything wherever they go. It can be said that many beast kings who were not determined were actually converted by Buddhism and became enemies after being beaten. The countless beast kings wished to destroy Buddhism immediately, but the Buddha of Buddhism was really terrifying. The light of salvation spread all over the Buddha land, even if it was the beast kings didn't dare to break in, for fear of being converted and becoming puppets. Of course, the thing that the beast kings feared the most was the leader of the human cult, Dao Tianzuan. This senior brother of the Lord of Chaos City, his strength was simply unfathomable. Although he took many shots, there are few, but some people think that he has stepped into the realm of the God Emperor, enough to compete with the God Emperor at the highest level, which is very terrifying. Originally, the king of wild beasts at the level of the 9 God Emperors in the animal world planned to take action, but they did not expect the moral heavenly lord to use his great power. The magic of magical power instantly transferred the 9 divine emperors to the Bioing Palace and then played a game of chess with them. This game of chess has been played for 365,000 years, but it has not been finished until now, and the 9 divine emperors he was also trapped in the 8 Views Palace, unable to free his hands at all. So this war lasted for 365,000 years, and even now there is no winner. We still underestimate these heavenly saints too much. A beast king clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. I originally thought that the saints from the heavenly realm were not surprising at all. Without the help of the gods of Chaos City, they would definitely not be able to stop the attack and killing of our beastly realm. But who would have thought that all these saints from the heavenly realm would be unable to stop us? It's a monster. To be honest, at first it thought that as long as the gods of Chaos City did not take action, this war would be devastating. But it still underestimated the heritage of the saints in the heaven. Not to mention anything else, just the 12 ancestral witches of the witch clan. Although their realm is very low at the moment, when they join forces and summon the true form of Pengu, they can conquer the world and defeat a supreme beast king. There are also demon clan emperors, all of whom have countless magic weapons and extraordinary combat power. Even if the number of saints is rare, but their combat prowess was unparalleled, and they used less to defeat more. Even on the defensive, the heavenly saints still blocked countless attacks from the beast kings. And as time went by, these heavenly saints actually continued to become stronger, allowing they are all vaguely afraid. If this continues, I am afraid they will lose this war. Yes, this time the Chaos Genius War begins. It may not be an opportunity. A beast king's eyes showed a glint. Those immortals can participate in the Chaos Genius battle, but we, the wild beasts from the animal world, can't we participate? The eyes of many beast kings showed a glimmer of light, and their hearts were obviously stirred up by these words. Can we wild beasts also participate? Of course, we wild beasts are also living beings in the heavens and all realms. Why can't we participate? But what is needed are intelligent creatures. If there are no intelligent wild beasts, I am afraid they will not be allowed to participate. This is a normal, desolate beast without intelligence. It is just cannon fodder, a beast not worth mentioning. We fought this war so hard because we lacked knowledge and wisdom. We had great power, but we didn't know how to use it. Therefore, those saints were obviously weaker in realm and power than us, but they could still suppress us. Fighting, it's really frustrating. You are right, we should take advantage of this opportunity to enter Chaos City and learn all kinds of knowledge. Otherwise, if we continue like this, we will have no hope of winning. I wonder how the leader and the others are doing now. It's really abominable to be deceived by that moral heavenly being and trapped in the 8 Views Palace for 365,000 years. The leader and the others are God Emperors, so they are not easy to trick. In fact, the moral heavenly lord wants to trap the leader, and the leader has never tried to trap the moral heavenly lord. No way. Is the moral god so terrifying? Even the leader acts with such caution. After all, the opponent is the disciple of the Lord of Chaos City. Who knows what trump card he has? Only by trapping this guy can we have hope of victory in the war. Many kings of wild beasts were talking about it. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 635. At this time, the saints from heaven also gathered together. For example, powerful saints such as Lingbao Tianzuan, Xianxia Tianzuan, Zhuani Taoist, Jane Taoist, 12 ancestral witches, Emperor Jun, Tai, Hongyun ancestor, Kunpeng ancestor, etc. all chat here. The group of beast kings retreated. Lingbao Tianzuan held the immortal killing sword. They ran quite fast. Originally, I thought they were so brave that they dared to start a war when the Chaos Genius War was held. If they dared to do it, there would be something good to see. He looked at the retreating beast kings indifferently and did not go to chase them. After all, there were too many beast kings in them. If they went deep into the enemy camp, they might be dead. The kings of wild beasts are not idiots. They naturally know how powerful they are. If you think they're stupid and make irreparable mistakes, then you are a bit underestimating them. Xianxia Tianzuan shook his head. He never underestimated any opponent. If those kings of wild beasts were really so easy to deal with, this war would not last so long. But this war has been going on for too long. When will it end? Dijun said in a deep voice, if we continue like this, we don't know how many immortals will die. Wrong, you're wrong. This is a disaster, but it is also an opportunity. Breaking and establishing will never be broken. These are the tribulations and opportunities given to us by God. Taoist Zhuanti clasped his hands together and spoke with a Zen tone. In fact, this is also true. Although this war caused the death of many immortals, more geniuses also stood out. Many Daluo golden immortals and even quasi-sages were promoted at this moment. It can be said that because of the war between wild beasts, these immortals had to evolve quickly, and sometimes they were unable to reach their maximum potential in a comfortable environment. However, the price paid was also huge. Opportunity? If we lose this war, we will lose the entire heaven. By then, the prehistoric world will be the territory of these beast kings, and there will no longer be a place for us. Tai shook his head. He was not so optimistic. Yes, the most critical thing now is the God Emperors. I wonder if the moral God Emperor can hold them back. Ancestor Hongyun's eyes showed a glimmer of light. He could see that the outcome of this war would still be decided between the God Emperors. If the moral Heavenly Lord could not hold back the 9 God Emperors of the animal realm, then this war would be inevitable in the heavenly realm. There is no doubt that you will lose. But if you can hold off, there is still hope of winning. It doesn't matter, there is no problem for the elder brother. Although he can't defeat the 9 God Emperors, holding him back is not a problem. His destiny chessboard is not so easy to break free from. Lingbao Tianzuan smiled slightly. Destiny chessboard? The eyes of many saints showed a glimmer of light. To be honest, among the 3 pure beings, the moral Heavenly Lord is the most mysterious. He rarely takes action and never interferes with anything in the heaven. But this moral Heavenly Lord is full of overwhelming presence, and he is always at the key point. Taking action at any time to turn the tide has shocked countless saints. It seems that if they don't take action, they will be angry. Once they take action, it will be earth-shattering. They are also extremely curious about Dao de Tianzuan, the great disciple of the Chaos City Lord. It seems that no god can force this moral deity so far. Tianzuan takes full action. At this moment, in the 8 Views Palace, the 9 divine emperors of the animal world are all sitting on futons. Their bodies exude unfathomable auras, distorting time and space in all directions. It seems that each god emperor contains a vast world within his body. If placed in the era of chaos, each one would have the tyrannical power to open up the ancient world, which is extremely terrifying. However, the moral Heavenly Lord sitting opposite these 9 divine emperors is no less impressive. The aura on his body is unfathomable, like a black hole, swallowing countless chaotic energy. In front of them, a huge chessboard appeared, showing 2 colors of black and white, like yin and yang, heaven and earth, and life and death, all-encompassing and encompassing everything. If ordinary people saw this chessboard, their souls would probably be swallowed up, as if this was not just a chessboard, but a universe. The black and white chess pieces on the chessboard also seem to be worlds. Every time you move a chess piece, you move a world, and countless creatures are fighting on it. The horizontal and vertical lines on the chessboard are like the lines of fate, intertwined and encompassing everything, as if countless causes and effects are gathered into it. This is the chessboard of destiny. It uses the world and all living beings as chess pieces, seemingly manipulating the threads of fate and fighting each other. This kind of collision is not only a collision of strength, but also a collision of great ways and one's own understanding of destiny. This is simply a verification of the truth between each other. If anyone loses this chess game, their soul will be severely damaged, their Taoist heart will collapse, and they will suffer irreparable damage. So this chess game has been played for 365,000 years, and it's just the beginning, not even the middle game. Every time a chess piece is moved, the 9 divine emperors will spend a huge amount of energy, and the endless computing power in the depths of the consciousness is running, deducing countless futures and countless causes and effects, so as to find the best ending and the best route. Of course, in order to compete with the 9 divine emperors, the moral heavenly master has also used his computing power to the extreme, reaching the level of calculations at the avenue. This is simply the peak confrontation of computing power. Moral heavenly lord, you are worthy of being the great disciple of the Lord of Chaos City. You actually created such a supreme treasure as the Destiny chessboard just to lure us into the game. A god emperor said, I have to say, you are really brave. Don't you know that if you lose this chess game, your Taoist heart will definitely collapse, and you will never be able to go further? You actually dare to bet your future for just a mere heaven. Is heaven really that important to you? It's worth the price you pay. You are the chief disciple of the Lord of Chaos City. Even if you are not in the heaven, you still have a place in Chaos City. Your interests will not be damaged. It used a heart attack strategy, trying to shake the Taoist god's heart and make the other party hesitate. As long as there is a moment of hesitation, it is a fatal flaw. What you said makes sense, but this time I am not only doing it for the heaven, but also for myself. What an opportunity it is to play a game of chess with the 9 divine emperors to compare. The Dao Tianzuan smiled slightly. Moreover, the road to practice is bumpy and full of obstacles. If you don't have the mentality to cut through thorns and thorns, how can you cross the mountains on the road to practice? Once you embark on the path of spiritual practice, there is no turning back. And if I win by luck, it will definitely bring my Taoist heart to a higher level and reach a state that has never been seen in ancient times. This is an incredible adventure. How can I miss it? All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 636. You. A god emperor stared at the moral heavenly lord, and a terrifying aura erupted from his body. You are so brave. You dare to use us as a whetstone to sharpen your cultivation and Taoist heart. You want to treat us as yours. A stepping stone. The remaining 8 divine emperors are also extremely angry. This kid is really bold and dares to use them as stepping stones and as a means to sharpen himself. In other words, they are just tool men. This is a pair of kings of wild beasts. Say it's simply a huge shame. A stepping stone? Hearing this, Dao Tianzuan smiled. You still don't have enough moral character. In this world, who is not a stepping stone? Being able to become a stepping stone for others is a good thing in itself. I don't know how many people are even stepping stones. Neither is qualified. And I can use you as a stepping stone. Can't you use me as a stepping stone? The world has 2 sides, yin and yang, black and white, cold and hot. There is not only one outcome and choice.
Boom.
At this moment, he suddenly moved, picked up a chess piece in his hand, and took a step forward. What?
Impossible.
Changed. Everything has changed. I can't see the future. Damn it. This is a variable other than fate. How could you take this step? Is this destiny? unpredictable and uncontrollable. Once variables come, even the God Emperor cannot control his own destiny. Is this the road to ever-changing destiny? In an instant, the 9 divine emperors were shocked. In their eyes, the situation on the entire chessboard immediately changed drastically, as if countless causal relationships in the entire universe were disrupted. The originally fixed future was changed irrevocably because of this move. The changes in predictions have given birth to countless results and countless futures. Even with the power of God Emperor level calculations, it is impossible to deduce so many futures. At this moment, they cannot see any of them. One is the best future. For a moment, they were silent and could no longer say anything. The computing power in the depths of the sea of consciousness continued to improve, and they frantically deduced countless results in the future. The calculation power of the 9 God Emperors was this moment broke out. Obviously, they need to deduce a long time, and I am afraid it will take tens of thousands of years to move the next move. Take your time, we still need to play this game for a long time. And Dao Tianzuan is sitting cross-legged, closing his eyes and concentrating, calm and relaxed, not anxious at all. It seems that anything in the outside world has nothing to do with him. He is just playing a game of chess with the 9 great emperors of the beast world. At the same time, all the worlds, countless races, and even the reincarnated Chaos Demon God hidden in various worlds also know the news that the Chaos Genius War is about to begin. The Chaos Genius War is finally about to begin, and it's not in vain that we have waited so long to suppress our cultivation. A Chaos Demon God said excitedly. But do we really want to participate in this battle of Chaos Geniuses? Although you can indeed take the opportunity to join Chaos City, and you can also obtain a large amount of training resources and training secrets, but you have to worship those gods as your teachers. How is this possible? How can it be that a Chaos Demon God? After all, they are ancient demon gods from the Chaos era, equivalent to the predecessors of these gods. Now they actually want to participate in the Chaos Genius War and become the disciples of these gods. I wonder how their self-esteem can accept it. It is really aggrieved. Got it. There is no priority in learning, and the master is the teacher. You're still too obsessed with it. Mere dignity is nothing. Can it be compared with cultivation? A Chaos Demon God shook his head. In fact, although our cultivation is lagging behind and cannot keep up with this era, to a certain extent, this is also a great opportunity for us. Because after reincarnation and rebuilding, we can completely review the previous path of cultivation, avoid many detours, and lay a deeper foundation for the great path. In this way, we will definitely go further than before, and we will not be promoted to the realm of gods, and have been stagnant, unable to improve their cultivation. After hearing this, many Chaos Demon gods couldn't help but nod. These words simply made them enlightened. Indeed, this encounter really made their early foundations more stable. After all, in the age of chaos, there was no knowledge of cultivation. Everything was in a barbaric and ignorant era. All cultivation was done by oneself, without anyone's guidance. The reason why they were promoted to the realm of gods was entirely because of the powerful talent of the Chaos Demon God. According to the talent, it is not a problem to be promoted to the realm of gods, but after being promoted to the realm of gods, the next road is not something that pure talent can help. Therefore, this time of reincarnation and reconstruction, they have accepted a large number of top talents. With their cultivation knowledge and rebuilding the supreme foundation, they become more solid and learn more than before. And don't think that you will definitely stand out if you enter the Chaos Genius battle. There are many peerless geniuses in this era who are no worse than us. A Chaos Demon God said in a deep voice. What did you say? Are you saying that we, the ancient demon gods, will still be eliminated if we participate in this Chaos Genius battle? Are you kidding me? A demon god was angry. He felt that the other party underestimated him too much. It was just a battle between chaos geniuses. Which of the chaos demon gods was not the life with the most top-notch chaos talents? How could those mortals compare with them? That's not what I meant, but there are at least more than 100,000 Chaos Demon Gods reincarnated and rebuilt this time, including some powerful Chaos Demon Gods. However, there are only 3,000 places in each realm. Who can win? The Chaos Demon Gods sneered. Many Chaos Demon Gods were silent, and their eyes couldn't help but reveal a glimmer of light. Indeed, this battle between chaos geniuses will be unprecedentedly fierce, and I don't know how many reincarnated chaos demon gods will join it. By then, they will not only fight within the competition between the peerless geniuses in the world, even the chaos demon gods themselves are competitors, and they will definitely fight each other. There are only 3,000 places, and there is no telling how many reincarnated chaos demon gods will be eliminated by then. Of course, it won't work this time. Just wait for the next one. There is always a chance. Fart, it will take 100 million epochs to pass before the next one. How can I have such a long time to wait? That's right, anyone who wants to stop me from joining Chaos City will die. In short, I am bound to win this time. Many Chaos Demon Gods are full of murderous intent. It is obvious that this is a path of seeking the Tao. On the road of seeking the Tao, they are covered with bones and countless corpses of their companions have fallen. Even though they are all reincarnated Chaos Demon Gods, it does not mean that they are willing to give up their own way. If you want to fight for it, you have to fight. Anyway, in the era of chaos, this is a common thing. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 637. In the blink of an eye, the preliminary round of the Chaos Genius Battle began. Countless geniuses from all over the world entered the Chaos Tower and began the preliminary round competition. Xianxia is naturally no exception, but he is only in the realm of the Immortal realm, so he only participates in competitions at the level of the Immortal realm, but there are more people competing at this level. After all, there are countless low-level immortals all over the world. On the contrary, the higher the level of immortals, the more rare they become. If you want to advance from a human immortal to an earthly immortal, then to a heavenly immortal, then to a great golden immortal, and finally to a quasi-sage, each level requires a lot of time and resources. Sometimes it is normal to be trapped in the same realm for billions of epochs. It does not mean that the longer you live, you will definitely be promoted. Many immortals just stay put. However, Xianxia's combat prowess was so strong that he was far beyond the level of immortals in the Immortal realm. He quickly stood out and successfully entered the semi-finals. Such results also shocked the immortals in the world. After all, when he climbed the Chaos Tower, he was already ranked first in the human immortal realm, and he was still far ahead. This ranking was known to many immortals in many worlds. Even if there are immortals with hidden strength among them, such ranking results are enough to shock many immortals. Xianxia? What is its origin? Is it a direct descendant of some ancient family, or is it the bloodline of some chaos demon god? Why have you never heard of it? Many immortals are curious to inquire about Xianxia's name and want to know his origin. After all, it is such an honor to be ranked first among countless immortals in all the heavens and realms. I don't know. I've never heard of Xianxia's name before, and I don't know which world he comes from. I have found out his origin. He came from the prehistoric world and was born in the human world. It is said that he has the title of the Immortal Emperor in the human world and is known as the Invincible at the same level. Not long ago, he was promoted to the Immortal realm and ascended to the Heaven realm.
What?
The Immortal Emperor? What an arrogant title. How virtuous and capable is this kid? He actually dares to call himself the Great Emperor. Isn't it too arrogant to say that you are invincible at the same level? It's normal to be arrogant. Being able to climb to such a high level in the Chaos Tower and rank first in the human immortal realm is no lie. He does have the ability to be arrogant and arrogant. It turns out that he came from a prehistoric world, a world where monsters abound. It is said that it is the first of many worlds, with endless promotions of gods and countless monsters. Moreover, the lives born in this world more or less have the blood of the Chaos Demon God. Although most of them are ordinary and cannot be compared to the lives of the peak races, occasionally some peerless monsters are born. I am afraid that this Qin immortality is a peerless monster born in the prehistoric world.
But he is so popular now.
If he waits until the rematch, he may be targeted. Yes, the semifinals are a free-for-all. I don't know how many immortals have united to deal with those monsters who ranked extremely high in the preliminary round, hoping to eliminate these monsters in the semifinals. I didn't know how many immortals with great combat power were killed by ordinary immortals together and lost the chance to advance to the finals. This is a lesson learned from the past. Is not that right? Even though this kid has great fighting power, he can't withstand the siege of many immortals. It is said that 2 fists are difficult to defeat with 4 hands. I am afraid that Chen Chongsheng is in danger in this rematch. This Chen Chongsheng is still too young. It is said that he was born in the human world. He has no background or any master. Before practicing, he was just a woodcutter, so he did not know this and was not instructed by an expert, so this happened. What a pity! If he was targeted, Chen Chongsheng might miss this chaos genius battle. Many immortals are talking about it. They feel that Chen Chongsheng is in danger when he enters the semifinals. If he ranks too high, he will be jealous of many immortals of the same level and even target him. After all, when entering the finals, some immortals want to be in the semifinals. Eliminate those immortals who are extremely powerful in battle so that they have greater hope in the finals. In fact, since the Chaos Genius competition has been held for so many times, many immortals who were very high profile in the preliminary rounds were assassinated in the rematch, thus eliminated. Because of this, many powerful immortals hid their strength in the preliminary round, just maintaining a ranking that was neither above nor below and did not intend to attract the attention of any immortals. At this time, many Chaos Demon gods who had suffered great losses from Chen Chongsheng also heard the news. Although they did not tell the news that Chen Chongsheng was the reincarnation of the great god Pengu, they were always paying attention to the news about Chen Chongsheng. He actually chose to participate in the Chaos Genius battle instead of teaching. Is this an arrangement of fate? Sure enough, Chen Chongsheng will still enter Chaos City. Once he enters Chaos City, he will probably soar into the sky. As expected of the Chaos Demon god Pengu, although he has no awakening memory, his talent is enough to defeat any immortal of the same level, and he can even fight across levels. This is a matter of course. Even if the great god Pengu missed the development of the times, he was the god emperor before the beginning of the sky. He was above many Chaos Demon gods and second only to the City Lord. Yes, with this kind of strength, even in this era, the combat power of the great god Pengu is definitely at the peak level, unparalleled in the world. If god Pengu hadn't been injured, we don't know how far he would have grown. I'm afraid we, the Chaos Demon god, can only look up to him, but are simply out of reach. Many Chaos Demon gods are talking about it. Although they are also Chaos Demon gods and have stepped into the realm of god kings, they are also very convinced of Pengu. This is truly beyond many Chaos Demon gods and is an existence beyond the standards. After all, this is but how can the talent and strength of the Deputy City Lord of Chaos City be extraordinary? But how do you think Chen Chongsheng will perform in the rematch? If he performs so exaggeratedly, he may be besieged by many geniuses. A Chaos Demon god said, "Siege." Hearing this, a Chaos Demon god suddenly laughed. What a group of mortals. They have no idea what kind of existence Chen Chongsheng is. Even if they are besieged by many immortals, they can't stop his axe. I have seen the might of the great god Pengu in the Great Axe Arena in the Age of Chaos. When he lowered his strength and fought with a Chaos Demon god of the same level, even if thousands of Chaos Demon gods attacked and killed him at the same time, they could not shake him in the slightest. It is indeed a mortal's experience. Even among the many Chaos Demon gods, Taoist brother Pengu is extremely special. Many Chaos Demon gods nodded. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelverse@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 638. The rematch of the Chaos Genius battle began soon.
Boom tilde.
In an instant, all the geniuses from all over the world who participated in the semifinals immediately entered the virtual universe. They were transported to a huge, almost boundless city. The map for each rematch is different. Sometimes it is the ocean, sometimes it is an island, sometimes it is the starry sky, sometimes it is the desert, sometimes it is hell, etc. This time the virtual map is the city. All the geniuses who have passed the preliminary round will fight each other in this city. Only by surviving for 30 days and gaining enough points can they stand out from the semi-finals.
Whoosh.
Xianxia also suddenly entered this virtual city. It's really interesting. It's actually exactly the same as in the real world. Xianxia was amazed and looked around curiously. He felt that this city was almost exactly the same as the laws of the real world and had been simulated 99%. He had never been in contact with the virtual universe before when he stayed in the human world. This after entering the heaven for the first time and participating in the Chaos Genius battle, he came into contact with the Chaos Virtual Network for the first time and entered this virtual universe. He was immediately surprised. He felt that this virtual universe was almost a 100% simulation, except for not dying. Everything else is exactly the same. It has reached the point where the fake is confused with the real, and there is no distinction between the real and the fake. It is said that the great magical person who created this virtual universe is the leader of the gods and the master of Chaos City, the Lord of Chaos City. I really don't know how much magical power he has to create such a great treasure. Xianxia felt that his vision had been refreshed once again. He realized that this top supernatural power user in the universe was unfathomable. Compared with him, he didn't know how far behind he was. Legend has it that this Chaos City Lord was born in the Chaos era. He is the oldest and most powerful Chaos demon god in the entire Chaos universe. So far, not many gods know what the true form of this Chaos City Lord is. They don't even know the real name, or even if they know it, they don't know it.
Dare to say it.
Therefore, the world only knows that the nickname of this ancient Chaos demon god is Chaos City Lord, which has almost become the only name of this ancient demon god. He has also heard about the deeds of this Chaos City Lord, although not many living beings have seen the true form of this great supernatural being, but gods have once seen his figure in hell. He is the master of hell, the underworld that runs through hell, the snake path of hell that leads countless dead, and everything, the destination of death. There were also gods who vaguely saw traces of him at the end of the world. His body entangled one world after another. No one knew how huge the body of this great supernatural power was. They only knew the other party's body. His body penetrates the entire chaotic universe. Even 900 million gods respect and awe him. He is the supreme divine master and the emperor who stands above everything. His followers are also spread throughout the chaotic universe and all over the world, even if he has never carried out any act of spreading faith, but he is still the chaos demon god with the most believers in the entire chaos universe. Even many gods believe in this Chaos City Lord. If I could meet this great psychic, then the mystery surrounding me would be answered. Xianxia clenched his fists, and his eyes flashed with blazing light. He heard that if he could come out on top in this Chaos Genius battle, not only would the gods become his masters, but even the Lord of Chaos City might accept him as his disciple. Of course, he has not yet done so. So far, only in the first Chaos Genius War did the Lord of Chaos City personally accept some geniuses as his direct disciples. Apart from that, he has never accepted any more disciples. But even so, it is not hopeless, even if it is impossible. Become the apprentice of this great supernatural power, but if you can see the other person, the secrets in your body will be revealed. So this time the Chaos Genius fights against him. He is bound to win, and he must enter the finals. Whoosh whoosh. It's here. While Xianxia was thinking, hundreds of immortals surrounded him without even realizing it, and quietly came to Xianxia. Look, this guy is Xianxia. Haha, my luck is so good. I met Xianxia, who ranked first in the preliminary contestant Fairyland, in this place. What a blessing. If I kill this guy, I will definitely become famous. But his combat prowess is not fake. Is it a big deal to be able to climb so many floors in the Chaos Tower? Even if some immortals hide their own strength, that's all it is at best. Yes, if we rush up there, we might be eliminated instantly. Damn it, there are hundreds of immortals here. Could it be that all of our geniuses can't beat him? Yes, this is the best opportunity. He has not joined forces with any immortals for the time being. He is alone. We can take advantage of the strength of the crowd to eliminate this kid. Haha, this is considered unlucky for this kid. Let him see the dangers of the human heart and encounter a severe beating from society. High talent does not determine everything. Sometimes teamwork can defeat the ultimate genius. Stop talking nonsense. Go ahead and kill this guy. Many immortals were staring at Xianxia with murderous intent. Rumbling. Without saying a word, these immortals took action instantly, surrounded them, and used their most powerful magical powers to attack like billions of cannonballs, erupting with terrifying destructive power. It is impossible for any immortal to withstand such an attack, and will definitely be beaten to ashes in an instant. At this moment, Xianxia seemed to sense something. He raised his head slightly and swung the giant axe in his hand.
Boom.
It was just an axe. Suddenly, this axe seemed to transcend time, space, and cause and effect, as if it had destroyed the void. As if they were split in half, a terrifying cold light erupted. Immediately, all the magical powers and spells were split in half under this axe. Even the immortal who was confronting Xianxia didn't know what was happening. He was chopped to death in an instant, his body was cut into two halves, and he disappeared into this virtual universe. No, it's impossible, monster. This guy is a monster. With just one axe, dozens of immortals were killed, and the spells of hundreds of us immortals were shattered. Are you kidding me? This kid is just a human immortal. Why is his fighting power so strong? I'm afraid even an earthly immortal is nothing more than this. How does this kid practice? Retreat, retreat immediately. You can't fight this monster. Hundreds of immortals are no match for him if they join forces. At least thousands of immortals, no, tens of thousands of immortals can only have hope if they join forces. Many immortals were horrified. They felt the fatal murderous intention and the huge gap between them. They immediately had a desire to escape. Unfortunately, they wanted to escape, but it was too late. Xianxia held a giant axe and took action. As fast as lightning, with a thud, the axe struck down, and hundreds of immortals were instantly wiped out. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 639. Not long after, the rematch and finals of the Chaos Genius battle were over. And, because of this event, Xianxia became famous all over the world and was known to countless people. Even the gods paid attention to Xianxia, because he was so amazing in this competition. The truly terrifying Xianxia, nicknamed the Immortal Emperor, indeed looks like a young emperor. A god said with emotion, "Originally, I thought that in the rematch, he would be surrounded and killed by thousands or even tens of thousands of immortals of the same level, and he would almost certainly die. But who would have expected that with one man and one axe, he would kill all the besieged immortals, from the street to the end of the street, fight his way out of the encirclement, and then emerge from the semi-finals. When it came to the finals, it would be even more incredible. None of the human immortals who fought with him could withstand his axe. He was known as Xianxia. His fighting power was invincible to human immortals. I am afraid that even the earthly immortals could not. That's all. Is not that right? It is estimated that throughout the ages, Xianxia has been the #1 human immortal. After experiencing so many Chaos Genius battles, he is definitely the strongest human immortal. The other god couldn't help but nodded. More than that, I think if his cultivation level is not too low, Even if he is promoted to the Earth Immortal realm or the Celestial Immortal realm, he can get the first place in this realm and be invincible. This Chen Changsheng is just a human being, but he actually has such a fighting ability. Strength. I never expected that the individual combat power of the weak human race could be so tyrannical. A god said with emotion. Although the human race has begun to rise in all the worlds, it is just an ordinary race. It is considered the most suitable body for reincarnation, but that is all. In the impression of all races, human race individuals weak in strength, they are simply not comparable to those of the Witch Clan, Monster Clan, let alone the descendants of the Chaos Demon God. But now a human race, Chen Changsheng, has appeared, completely subverting the imagination of the gods and making them reevaluate the human race. Combat potential. No. Although Chen Changsheng is very powerful and can dominate the human realm and has unparalleled combat power, if he is promoted to the heavenly realm, he may not be as good as Alice, the daughter of light. A chaos demon god said in a deep voice. Alice, the daughter of light, is an empress from a certain country in the world. She has a powerful talent for light. She seems to be born with the law of light. Host, didn't you notice just now? When you were talking to this old man before, no one around noticed your presence, and no one even interfered with the conversation between you. It was as if the two of you had disappeared. The Book of Wisdom said, there is no doubt that the curator must have tampered with it. I'm afraid this was not intentional. It was purely its own power, unconsciously emitted, which distorted the void. This also makes it difficult for any being at a lower level than it to detect the existence of this curator. This is a terrifying ability that only high-level gods have. It was only at this time that Chen Changsheng realized that it was indeed the case. When he was talking to the old man just now, people were coming and going, but no one disturbed their conversation. It was as if they were just air and they instinctively followed, they passed by. He wouldn't have noticed this if it weren't for the reminder from the Book of Wisdom. However, the host does not need to worry too much. A demon like this will not pay too much attention to an ant like the host. The reason why it appears is probably because of whim. The host only needs to regard this incident as an adventure. Book of Wisdom. Chen Changsheng was speechless. Although this is indeed the case, why are the words of the Book of Wisdom so awkward? It doesn't make people happy at all. Host, let's leave quickly and don't waste time here. The Book of Wisdom did not continue to dwell on this matter. It could not wait to read those free books. Although it is a Book of Wisdom, it claims to be all-encompassing and knows all the mysteries. But in fact, it is just wisdom in the early stages of evolution. It's just a book. If you want to evolve further, you need to obtain a lot of knowledge and a lot of data so that it can continue to evolve.
Good.
Chen Changsheng nodded, without hesitation, and immediately came to a teleportation array in the hall. He saw dense teleportation arrays appearing around the hall. Obviously, each teleportation array will be teleported to one of the small 1,000 worlds, and this small 1,000 worlds was filled with all kinds of books. Suddenly, as soon as Chen Changsheng stepped into a teleportation array, a mechanical voice sounded. Welcome to the free book area of the Chaos Library. There are a total of 300 million small worlds here. There are different books stored in it, including customs and customs, secrets of skills, secrets of spells, secrets of swordsmanship, secrets of formations, etc. I don't know which little world you want to enter to read books. Customs and customs, to record the customs and customs of this small world. The Book of Wisdom immediately shouted in Chen Changsheng's sea of consciousness. It wanted to know a lot of information about the heavens and the world. This is the first step to understand the world. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 643. Whoosh. Chen Changsheng nodded and immediately told the area of the library he wanted to go to. Okay, we are about to be transferred to the N2333 small 1,000 world. Please be prepared. The mechanical voice rang. But at this moment, the voice seemed to be intermittent. Sudden accidents occurred, transmission was interfered with, and the position was shifted. Please be careful. What? Before Xianxia could figure out what was going on, the teleportation array suddenly flashed, producing a unique wave of voids that instantly teleported him out. Suddenly, there was a sudden movement, and the next second he appeared in a strange little world. Where is this place? Xianxia felt a little dizzy at the moment, but when he looked at his surroundings, he found that he was in a world of books, surrounded by densely packed books. Endless and colorful books were lying on the bookshelves, and he looked around. In the past, this was simply a maze of books and an ocean of books. Wait, these books seem to be alive? Xianxia was immediately startled. His perception of the breath of life was extremely keen. He immediately sensed that the endless books lying on the bookshelf were filled with rich vitality and the breath of soul. You must know that dead things do not have any soul. Only living things can have souls. Suddenly, the books here seem to have discovered the existence of Xianxia. Look, there seems to be a living person here. Oh my God, it's true. A living person actually broke into our place. It's so rare. How did he get in? Is this the human being in the legend? It's so strange. It really has hands and feet, as well as nose, eyes, and mouth, exactly as described in the book. I heard that all human beings are beasts, bloodthirsty and bloodthirsty. Is he coming to eat us? Don't worry, we are just books. I have never heard of anyone coming to eat books. You are right. If someone dares to take our word for it, we will beat him to death. The power of many books is overwhelming. Many books were chattering, and the place suddenly became lively, just like a vegetable market. They were on the bookshelf, looking at Xianxia curiously. It was like a group of tourists visiting the animals in the zoo.
Generally.
Is it the same as the Book of Wisdom? To be honest, Xianxia was extremely surprised because he had lived for such a long time and had only seen books like the Book of Wisdom that could talk. Other than that, other books were just artifacts and could not have souls at all. At first, he thought that the Book of Wisdom was a unique existence, but now it seems that there are many wonderful magic weapons similar to the Book of Wisdom in the world. Just what he can see with his naked eyes now is that countless books on the bookshelf are alive. Nose, mouth, and eyes appeared on the cover. But these books seemed to have no legs and could not move here. Each one was just lying on the bookshelf, chatting in this place, looking at themselves very curiously. No, it's not that there are no books to move. At this moment, Xianxia's heart moved. He suddenly saw several books running in the distance. Each book was filled with tyrannical fluctuations of the avenue and laws. It seemed that a book it contains a universe, unfathomable. Gaga, my Book of Fire has finally escaped from that damn place. You can try to imprison my Book of Fire in just a restricted area. This is simply a fool's dream. I want to burn this whole place down. A red book immediately appeared in front of Xianxia. It was also a book, but its whole body was like a cluster of flames, as if it were an eternal fire, emitting terrible heat. Xianxia felt that this was not just a book of flames, it was simply a universe of flames. It seemed that the wisps of flames diffused from it were the worlds of flames. Countless worlds gathered together. That is a universe of flames, like the flames inside this book, pour out, enough to turn this place into a boundless sea of fire, and all matter will be burned away. Even a trace of flame leaked from the other party. If he touches it, if so, I'm afraid his body will be directly burned to ashes and cease to exist. This is not an ordinary book of magical powers. It is simply a book of taboos. This book contains the terrifying power of taboos. Even the Chaos Demon God cannot compare. It seems that this book is a symbol of the Avenue of Fire. Book of Fire, come back to me immediately. You've violated the 136 prohibitions of the library. You set fires, destroyed, and damaged books everywhere in the library. You must be imprisoned in the restricted area for 180 million years as punishment. Now you dare to escape from prison. It's a double crime. When I take you back, your sentence will be doubled. The Speaker is another magical book. The cover of the book is a scale and shackles. The scale seems to symbolize justice and order, while the shackles represent violence. It is a book of law and a symbol of all rules. The law responsible for governing the Chaos Library specializes in arresting those who disrupt the order of the Chaos Library, especially those mischievous magical books. Anyone caught by it will be imprisoned in a restricted area and banned here until you can only come out after the sentence is over. Countless magical books are cruel and ruthless to this, and will only abide by the laws and rules. The ruthless magical books are afraid of 3 points. Haha. Book of Fire. Surrender obediently. You can't run away. Don't think that with the Book of Space helping you escape and opening the door to the restricted area, you can escape. In front of my Book of Water, you are just a rookie. Do you know that you are a rookie? The book that is talking is the Book of Water. Its cover is the blue ocean. Every word in the book seems to be in the shape of a water drop. Each water drop represents a world of water. And the whole book represents a universe of water, symbolizing the avenue of water, unparalleled in power. At this moment, it is triumphant, and together with the Book of Law, it is capturing the archenemy, the Book of Fire. The abominable Book of Water, using chicken feathers as arrows, dog officer. Do you know that you are a dog officer? Don't think that I, the Book of Fire, am afraid of you. The Book of Fire was filled with hatred. To be honest, if the shameless bastard of the Book of Water hadn't stopped him, the Book of Law alone wouldn't have been able to trap it. But with the power of the Book of Water blocking him, it would have its own power could not be used, which caused a huge error in its escape plan. It can be imagined that it simply wanted to stop immediately and beat the dog official of the Book of Water with its backhand to let the other party see it. He is powerful as the Book of Fire. All credit goes to the original author. If you're the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 644. Haha. Book of Fire. You are the one I'm going to fight. Surrender obediently. You can't escape. The Book of Water is proud of. Haha, let's have a fight. The Book of Fire was angry and stopped running away.
Boom tilde tilde.
In an instant, the Book of Water and the Book of Fire collided with each other.
What?
Xianxia, who was watching the show next to him, was immediately shocked. He sensed the surface on the surface. 2 books are fighting, but in fact it is 2 avenues colliding, or even 2 universes colliding. It is the crazy collision between the fire universe and the water universe, and a terrifying power suddenly bursts out. Just like needle-ons colliding with wheat-ons, it can be said that water and fire are incompatible. Oops, the 2 are fighting again. Run away quickly. It will bring disaster to the fish pond. In an instant, the countless books that were originally scattered on the bookshelf began to chirp and scream. I thought they could not move, but at this moment, each of them grew 2 feet, with oil on their soles. One by one, they ran extremely fast and escaped from the bookshelf in an instant. Under Xianxia's dumbfounded observation, in just an instant, no one knew how many books escaped from his eyes and ran in all directions. It seemed like this. I don't even know how many times I have done this action. Oops. Xianxia's expression also changed at this moment. He suddenly discovered that it was not unreasonable for these magical books to escape, because at the moment when the Book of Fire and the Book of Water collided, a terrifying power was produced. Such the power can destroy the heaven and the earth. Even the fluctuations of gods are nothing more than this. He felt that if he was hit by such a fluctuation at this moment, he would be shocked to death in an instant and disappear into ashes. But at this moment, the Book of Law finally, he took action. The ground is a prison. The place I am in is the cage. What I say is the rules and the law.
Wow.
In an instant, with the Book of Law as the center, a huge void cage appeared in an instant, covering a distance of hundreds of kilometers, and the area was extremely huge. Xianxia sensed that in this void cage, all laws seemed to be invalid at this moment. It was as if he was in the absolute realm. All laws were dominated by this book, and any regulations were determined by this book. Formulated. Even if the Chaos Demon God steps into this legal field, I am afraid that he will not be able to shake the rules here. This is the power of the Supreme Avenue, which is simply beyond his imagination. At the moment when this void cage appears, the Book of Fire and the Book of Water, the power that burst out from the book was quickly eliminated and seemed to be swallowed up and absorbed by the void cage. This also prevented the power of these two magical books from leaking out. Book of Law, you despicable villain. You actually teamed up with Book of Water to bully me. Don't think I don't have helpers. The Book of Fire felt that the power in his body was eliminated, and he became angry immediately, and terrible flames burst out from his body. In an instant, a unique fluctuation occurred in the void, and a transparent space cover actually appeared, and instantly the Book of Fire was moved out of this legal prison. Book of Space, why did you help the Book of Fire? Do you know that this kid has violated the library's laws? If you help the prisoner, you are an accessory, which is also a felony. Do you understand? The Book of Law suddenly sensed that there was a book of magical powers helping the Book of Fire, and the culprit was the Book of Space, the book of magical powers that mastered the supreme avenue of space.
Whoosh.
Suddenly, near the Book of Flames, I don't know when a transparent book appeared. It was filled with the power of the void and seemed to be integrated with the chaotic void. It seemed that if it didn't want to appear, few people would be able to find its traces. Book of Fire, good man, give me something to eat. The Book of Space is concise and concise. What? Hearing this, the Book of Water suddenly became angry. The despicable Book of Fire actually bribed the Book of Space with food and dragged it into the water. You are really shameless. Gaga, you know nothing. This is called intelligence. It is called great wisdom, you know? A guy like you who has a head full of muscles doesn't know what wisdom is. The Book of Fire was proud of. Don't think that I don't know about your helpers. In fact, in order to deal with the Book of Space, I also found helpers. Come out, Book of Time. The Book of Law said lightly.
Whoosh.
The next second, a book of magical powers appeared from the void. Its cover was a black and white clock, and the hour hand on it seemed to be ticking. With its body as the center, it seems that the time dimension of the surrounding void has been distorted. Many books of supernatural powers have produced a sense of time confusion, as if its power has penetrated time and space. Actually found the Book of Time to help. What a great skill, but if you think my backup plan is just like this, then you underestimate me. The Book of Fire. Brothers, please come out with them all. The time has come for an uprising. The Book of Fire shouted. Whoosh whoosh. The Book of Space manipulated its own power, and the void twisted. Suddenly, books of magical powers flew out from the depths of the void, each filled with tyrannical power.
Breath.
That is the Book of Gold, the Book of Anger, the Book of Curses, the Book of Darkness, the Book of Killing, the Book of Destruction, the Book of Death, the Book of Thunder, the Book of Storms, etc. Each magical book represents the law of the Great Road is unfathomable. Quack, Book of Fire, is it finally our turn to appear? I'm already itching. Let's make a fuss. We're going to bring the Chaos Library into a new era. Jean Jishu laughed loudly and was very excited. The reason why I always have anger in my chest is because I love this land deeply. The Book of Anger is lying on the ground with a calm face. This is anger. The calmer it is on the surface, the angrier it is inside. Curse you guys who are very happy, guys who have friends, guys who have boyfriends and girlfriends. Curse you to be unhappy and have bad luck for the rest of your life. Just give me the bad luck for the rest of your life. Quack, quack, quack. What was spoken was the Book of Curses formed by the Cursed Avenue. It was completely black and seemed to be formed by countless twisted dark runes of chaos. Densely dense and terrifying skeletons emerged, which was simply chilling. At this moment, it is squatting under the bookshelf, drawing circles, seeming to be cursing everything. I really want to die. I really want to die in eternal darkness. But why can't I die? Why can't you die? Can I die this time? The speaker is the Book of Darkness formed by the Dark Avenue. It exudes a dark aura and seems to blend into the dark corners, as if it is the boundless night. It seems to be trying various suicide methods, but no matter what it cannot die, which makes it very distressed because it wants to be immersed in darkness forever. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 645. Only death is the eternal destination of life. Come into my arms of death. The Book of Death also stood up. Its cover seemed to be a boundless hell. Countless skeletons were buried on the ground. A yellow spring ran through the hell, which was vast and boundless. It was filled with a strong aura of death, and it seemed that it communicates with the underworld and has the authority over the law of death, symbolizing the end of life and the end of all things. Kill in life, kill in death, kill everyone in my name. No one will not kill. I am the Book of Killing. I only want one kill. The Book of Killing shook its head and walked out. It exuded a terrible smell of killing. It seemed to be the road to the end. Each page recorded a method of killing. It seemed to symbolize the endless methods of killing in the world. Destroy. There is no construction without destruction. The Book of Destruction also laughed loudly, as if he was afraid that the world would not be in chaos. Can anyone give me a split? Guaranteed to be painless. The Book of Thunder asked thiefly, as if the billions of thunders on its body could be struck down at any time. Its favorite thing on weekdays is to strike everywhere with thunder. Wherever you want to travel, let me blow. I can send you to the end of chaos. The Book of Storms chuckled. In an instant, many books of magical powers flew out at this moment, standing behind the Book of Fire with a mighty momentum. When did you bunch of militants get together? The expressions of the Book of Law and the Book of Water suddenly changed. They had no idea that the Book of Fire, a young, violent maniac, would silently entangle a group of such aggressive elements. This simply meant that the world would be in chaos. We have long disliked you guys. You are making rules and making all kinds of laws in the library all day long.
Why?
Why do we have to listen to you? Our magical books are born free and sacred. How can we be bound by mere rules? So now we are rebelling. Do you know that we are rebelling? The Book of Fire yelled, indicating that they are a rebel army. They have long felt that the rules of the Chaos Library are not pleasing to the eye, and they plan to overthrow the system of the Chaos Library and build a new world of books. It's a good skill. I didn't expect you to be able to gather so many accomplices. It's good to catch all of you rebels, and then the rebellion in the Chaos Library can be completely eliminated. Come out, you don't have to hide anymore. The Book of Law said in a deep voice. Whoosh whoosh. In an instant, books of magical powers suddenly appeared in the depths of the void. The Book of Encouragement, the Book of Earth, the Book of Light, the Book of Punishment, and the Book of Wood, the Book of Devouring, the Book of Rubber, the Book of Copy, the Book of Luck, etc. Countless powerful books of supernatural powers suddenly appeared behind the Book of Law.
What?
Have you prepared so many helpers? The Book of Fire was surprised. Of course, don't think that your actions are very secretive. In fact, I have known your actions well for a long time, and I have planned to catch you all in one fell swoop. That's why I just stood still before. Now it's time to close the net. The Book of Water said proudly. In that case, let us compete directly to see who can rule the Chaos Library. The Book of Fire gritted its teeth. Rumble. In an instant, countless books of supernatural powers began to fight, colliding with each other, as if the avenues were fighting each other and the universes were colliding, creating a terrifying force. Abel. This. Chun Chongsheng was shocked. He didn't expect that it was just a book, and its combat power was so powerful. This is not a book, it is simply a god. And they are not just ordinary gods. Each one contains earth-shattering divine power. Retreat quickly, don't be affected by them. Otherwise we will definitely die. The Book of Wisdom immediately warned Chun Chongsheng.
Whoosh.
Without saying a word, Chun Chongsheng rubbed oil on the soles of his feet and fled the scene in an instant, avoiding the fighting range of this group of books of magical power to avoid being affected by the opponent's power and being shocked to death. After all, he is just an immortal. How can he compare with these magical books that have lived for who knows how many years? They are no longer books, but gods, unparalleled in power. It is rumored that there are three major superpowers in the world, namely the World Bank, the Chaos Mercenary Organization, and the Giant Axe Arena. It seems that in addition to this, there is actually a fourth superpower, which is the Chaos Library. This is the superpower who truly stands above countless peak forces. The Book of Wisdom saw this scene and immediately sighed. How to say? Chun Chongsheng couldn't help but ask. Seeing this scene, don't you still understand? The Book of Wisdom said in a deep voice, deep inside the Chaos Library, there are countless magical books hidden. It can be said that the Chaos Library has long become a universe of books. Every book here is a life, and there may be levels of strength. The book of supernatural powers that appears in front of us is probably the superpower of the Chaos Library, comparable to the books of the God Emperor. What? The strength is comparable to that of the God Emperor. Hearing these words, Chun Chongsheng was immediately surprised. It was simply unbelievable, because there were 3,000 books of magical powers that appeared in front of him. Doesn't that mean there are 3,000 books? 1,000 God Emperor. In addition, the books in the Chaos Library are countless. After countless eras, it is unknown how many powerful men have been born. No wonder the Book of Wisdom says that the Chaos Library is the universe, the fourth superforce. After all, if there are so many powerful people in the Chaos Library, a book is equivalent to a god. What a terrifying power that is. This can completely compete with other superforces. Originally, he thought that the Chaos Library is just an ordinary place, but you wouldn't have imagined that the water here is so deep that even the gods are shocked. But there are so many magical books here, and you are also a Book of Wisdom. Could it be that you are also a book spirit from the Chaos Library? Chun Chongsheng asked curiously. He has always been curious about the origin of the Book of Wisdom. I don't know about this, but I may have some connection with this place. The Book of Wisdom shook its head. It didn't know its origin very well. It just knew that it was created by a supreme being. It seemed that it was born with Chun Chongsheng and signed a contract.
But there are more things.
It's not very clear. It's also confused. Even you don't know about it. It seems that this matter is really worthy of further investigation. We came to Chaos City at the right time. Chun Chongsheng was extremely excited. He felt that he could finally see a little bit of the secrets in his body. He felt that he might have a great relationship with this Chaos Library. All credit goes to the original author. If you are the author and wish for this video to be removed or modified, please reach out at fabelversodio@gmail.com. The Primitive Ancient Snake. Chapter 646. Amazing! Chun Chongsheng saw the battle between the books of supernatural powers. This was completely different from the battles of ordinary lives. They were purely battles between spells, which were more violent and distorted the laws. Words were affected from these books one by one. It was as if they had turned into magical powers and spells. Even these magical powers and spells seemed to have come to life, condensing into powerful soldiers. These soldiers fought in midair, like two armies confronting each other. Rumble. Each collision exploded. There was an earth-shattering explosion, twisting the void. Fortunately, this is the Chaos Library, and powerful chaos restriction formations are arranged around it, which blocks the fluctuations of the battle between the two sides. If it were outside, I am afraid that the entire world would be they were blown apart by these books of magical powers and torn apart. Just when these books of magical powers were about to unleash real fire, a voice suddenly rang out. That's enough. We've been fighting here all day. Are we going to let people sleep? As soon as these words came out, all the books of magical power seemed to have pressed the pause button, and everyone stopped. What? Chun Chongsheng and the Book of Wisdom were immediately surprised. Such a fierce battle, a large-scale weapon fight. One voice actually stopped all these books of magical powers. Who is it?
Bohm tilde tilde.
At this moment, a book of magical powers emerged from the void and appeared in front of many books. It was filled with. It has special and powerful fluctuations, as if it is the Supreme King, the master of all destiny. It seems that the moment it appears, all books, all life, The cause and effect of all things, life and death, and the thread of fate are all gathered on it, controlling everything. It is the leader of countless books of magical powers, the Book of Destiny. Destiny rules everything and is above all else. All power comes under the jurisdiction of fate. The moment it appears, it is destined to be the leader of many books of magical powers and has no influence on other books. The book has absolute control. I saw it yawned, as if it had just woken up from sleep. Oops, the leader shows up. Run quickly, or you'll be in trouble if you get caught. Why did I wake up so quickly? I had obviously slept for a long time before. The idea pricks the hand, and the wind pulls tightly. Book after book of magical powers started shouting, calling for friends, and immediately wanted to run away from this place. You guys, how dare you disturb my sleep? Come back here. The Book of Destiny was angry.
Boom tilde tilde tilde.
In an instant, countless black and white lines were derived from the Book of Destiny. These are the lines of cause and effect, the lines of fate. Such lines are unstoppable, extremely fast, and extremely strong. Whoosh whoosh. The next second, these threads of fate were instantly tied to these books of magical powers. When the threads of destiny bound them, all the books of magical powers were sealed with power almost instantly. They were all little bullies in the past, but now they have become deflated balls. Sorry, Chief. We were wrong. Please spare us this time. We shouldn't disturb your sleep. Books of supernatural powers begging for mercy. Haha, please go back to the dark room for me. The Book of Destiny yawned. It seemed that with a wave of his hand, it dragged away the 2,999 supreme books of magical powers in an instant without wasting any effort. It didn't take long for it to disappear. This place, I don't know where it took these magical books. This. Chun Chongsheng was stunned when he saw the scene. The scene just now really shocked him. Such a powerful book of supernatural powers was suppressed by a book in an instant. What a degree of power this is. To be honest, if he hadn't seen this scene with his own eyes, he would never believe it. It was so unbelievable. This kind of power was far beyond his imagination. It cannot